top of the morning to you. Top of the morning. It is about 11:20 here in the New York City tri-state area. Let me make sure the volume and everything is right. Everything like this. Listen, we got some news for y'all this morning. You know what I mean? And so who else to deliver it to you but me? Listen, man. Just to give you a highlight. Just give you an update real quick. We saw day before yesterday, Puff tried to put into motion for a new $50 bond hearing and try to get released, right? Me personally, the only gripe I had the whole plight of the whole story was this. I said, stop throwing in you want to go to California. Stop throwing in you want to go to Miami. And I sat right there, and I'm going to stay right there. So for anybody that's watching the rebroadcast, just go back and watch my live yesterday, and you'll hear me say that or whatever. Right now is going to be the moment where I share this real quick, get this out to a few people, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about everything. All right? So give me a few seconds here. I'll be right back. Like I said, if you're just tuning in, just give me. Like I said, if you're just tuning in, just give me a second. It's a little lengthy, more process I got to do here, sharing. But we're going to get right. Just give me a second, guys. The app's going to keep crashing on me because I'm using the old device and not using my device I had pre. All right, there we go. That should be enough. I'm sorry, guys, for that. The app is crashing. It's not meant for me to update it on this phone. Based on this phone can only go to a certain amount of Android. I lost my other phone, so if y'all feel free, make sure y'all hit the cash app because I ain't trying to get my new device taken care of, plus my bill and a whole bunch. So I owe about 500 even on that, but we're gonna take care of it. Don't worry about it. In a 62-page motion, the Music Mogul's legal team argued that his conviction under the Mann Act, which bars interstate commerce related to prostitution, should be overturned. And this is what lawyers Mark Agnifilo and team are saying. This yesterday I brought up, and I don't know if a couple of you brought up, remember me bringing up, but yesterday in my live yesterday I brought up the fact that the Mann Act goes back to 1910, and believe it or not, this is before women had the right to vote in this country. So, it's ironic that a law that some people would say is there to protect women also was standing in the shadow and was promoted first before women in this country can even vote. So I want y'all to make sure you put that under, you know what I'm saying, under your little, whatever there. Lawyers for Sean Combs on Wednesday asked the judge to vacate a jury's verdict that convicted him on 2 prostitution-related charges, grant him a new trial limited to evidence connected to these counts. At the conclusion of the 8-week federal trial in Manhattan earlier this month, Mr. Combs was acquitted of the 2 most serious charges against him: sex trafficking and racketeering and conspiracy, which focused on the accusation he had coerced 2 long-term girlfriends into drug-fueled sexual encounters with hired male escorts. But the jury found Mr. Combs, known as Puff Daddy or Diddy, guilty of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, a lesser charge, but still carries a maximum of 10 years in prison for each conviction. In the 62-page file motion late Wednesday, the Music Mogul's lawyers argued the jury's conviction of Mr. Combs under the Federal Mann Act, which bars interstate commerce related to prostitution, should be overturned. To our knowledge, his lawyers wrote, Mr. Combs is the only person ever convicted of violating the statute for the conduct of anything like that, what was alleged in this case. So he's the first one, like I said yesterday. No, I don't know anybody else, and I did my research that has been convicted of this, and I think that's why Judge Sam Marinian announced to the prosecution and the defense, hey, look, find me a time that somebody's been convicted in history or something like that for this law, and that, we'll do what's applicable from there, I guess. Mr. Combs' lawyers have argued strenuously throughout the case and in recent filing that the sexual encounters that are at issue, referred to as free calls or hotel nights, were consensual and that Mr. Combs has no financial motive. The defense also argued that encounters with Mr. Combs off of film amounted to producing amateur pornography, which is said to be protected under the First Amendment. Mr. Combs, at first, paid to engage voyeurism, and I use that word a lot here. I'll tell you why in a little bit. Mr. Combs at most paid to engage in voyeurism as part of a swingers lifestyle, said the filing, which is signed by Alexandria Shapiro, an appellate court lawyer who is part of the Combs defense team. This does not constitute prostitution under the properly limited definition of the statutory term. At trial, after the government rested its case, the defense made a motion under the rules of the criminal procedure to acquit Mr. Combs of all charges, arguing that the prosecution had not proved his case beyond a reasonable doubt. The judge, Aaron Samaranian, reserved his decision on the motion and has not yet ruled on it. In the latest motion, the defense said that the judge does not grant the request for acquittal. Mr. Combs should be given a new trial limited to evidence related to the Mann Act charges due to severe spillover prejudice from realms of inflammatory evidence related to sex trafficking and racketeering allegations. The defense specifically cited the security video from the Los Angeles hotel in 2016 when Mr. Combs was seen beating Cassandra Victoria, one of the women in the heart of this case. Some of the men who participated in the free calls have been hired through escort services operating openly, and at least 2 have been identified as pornographic actors. At trial, the defense argued that the men hired in the sexual encounters had been paid for their time and not for sex. Prosecutors pushed back strongly against that claim. Jurors were shown detailed financial records showing how various men have been hired and transported for the encounters, and witnesses, including 2 escorts, testified to the men being paid in cash. At one point, jurors saw text messages from Mr. Combs complaining to an escorts dispatcher that a man he had hired couldn't even perform. In closing arguments to the jury, Christy Slavic, a prosecutor, directly attacked the defense argument. Christy Slavic, a prosecutor, directly attacked the defense's argument that the men had not been hired for sex, referencing one escort being identified as Daniel. I'm going to spend no more than 10 seconds on this ridiculous argument, Ms. Slavic told the jurors, because you know why Daniel and all the other escorts were paid. They were paid for sex. In another motion on Tuesday, Mr. Combs' lawyers asked the judge to release Mr. Combs from detention on $50 million bond, pending his sentencing on the Mann Act charges. The judge gave the government until Thursday to respond. Mr. Combs' sentencing is still scheduled for October the 3rd. So today, at some point in time or whatever, we should hear what the defense is going. The prosecutors, how they feel, and I'm going to read something else for y'all too in a second here. How the prosecutors, how they feel as far as him trying to attempt to get this $50 million bond or whatever. So I guess they're going to have some readback from that, and then we're going to have some readback from this right here too. I'm assuming maybe today, maybe tomorrow, Friday, maybe possibly tomorrow, or latest Friday. I'm going to read this on to you too, because this is another part of the what's the name that I think is important here. And I want to highlight 2 things here. One, everybody know, listen, we ain't got to sit here in front no more. Everybody know Puff paid for the hookers, right? But the thing is, Puff wasn't having sex with the hookers. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that part has been established. So I think what the problem is now is that since he's only been convicted of the Mann Act, not the stuff with Cassie, not the stuff with a couple of other ones, but really what he's been directly lined with is male prostitutes. And these are men prostitutes. These are now women prostitutes. So basically what I was trying to say before, and I was being sarcastic, I said, well, are the prostitutes the victims here? Are the male prostitutes the victims? Because that's what it would seem. No, there was no other conviction other than the male prostitutes. And if you don't understand what I mean, when you pay for somebody to come across state lines, in this case, it would be the male prostitutes. You understand what I'm saying? So I like to put in the emphasis all the time that, listen, we're talking about the male prostitutes, the same male prostitutes that are going right now, and they're doing interviews at this one, that one, this one, that one, this one, that one, Vlad, here, there, shout to Vlad, here, there, and there. You understand? Guys, make sure y'all double tap the screen and hit the like button. We back on that again today? We back on that again today? Looking for some material for your live? Is that what it is? I gotta really find out who the person is that's following me, that's sharing me with their followers. That's what it is. There's no way there's 100 people in here and there's only 1 like. That sounds ridiculous. I got some haters following me. That's interesting. That's real. That's what y'all doing now? I got you. No problem. And you always know it's something like that when you get people that do stuff like that. Okay, I read that one. I'm going to read this next one for you guys right here. Lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs are requesting an acquittal on new trial altogether. All right, and it goes like this: Lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs are requesting his acquittal or altogether a new trial. Nearly a month after being cleared of the most serious of his sex crime charges in a bombshell split decision, Combs' legal team filed a motion late Wednesday, June 30th, asking for the court to either overturn his conviction on 2 counts of the transportation to engage in prostitution or grant him a new trial, according to legal documents. The request comes days after the embroiled music moguls team again asked Judge Samarinian, Judge Anran Savarinian, to release Combs on $50 million bond and allow him to live in his Miami mansion. Told this motherfucker stop talking about that Miami stuff. Up until the right corner hit the 3 dots. Only thing they got to do is just double tap the screen. I appreciate it, JoJo. Yeah, they're not going to hit the like button because these are people that are like, basically, they're like, how can you call them? Scavengers. These are scavenger viewers. You understand what I'm saying? Scavenger viewers, they basically go around and watch other people's stuff, get ideas of other people's stuff, and then try to form their own lives. So these are scavengers. You understand what I'm saying? This is a tough place out here, whatever. If it was a block years ago, it probably would have pulled a pistol out on them. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not. Anyway, the request comes days after the embroiled music moguls team again asked Judge Samarinian to release Combs on a $50 million bond and allow him to live in his Miami mansion. I said this yesterday. Stop talking about you want to live in Miami. You see here, even this news outlet is reporting that it looks crazy on paper. Instead, the Metropolitan Detention Center, Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York, as he is awaiting sentencing in October. Combs' legal team once again argues that the use of the Mann Act, officially known as the White Slave Traffic Act, which makes it illegal to transport people across state or international lines for the purpose of prostitution in these circumstances, is unprecedented and raises concern about discriminatory enforcement. Now, I want you to realize, I want you to underline that because a lot of people didn't know that's what that law was originally meant, really cool. It was called the White Slave Traffic Act. So the Mann Act was originally known as the White Slave Traffic Act. And like I said, this was made for a boxer named Jack Johnson. He was the Mike Tyson of his days. You understand what I'm saying? Just to put it plain blank. He was the Mike Tyson of his days. And he after knocking out a few people, gaining a couple $1 million, you know, he went on and he ended up marrying a white woman. And at that time, that wasn't really that popular. He went cross state lines several times or whatever, with this white woman. I believe one time was coming out of Canada or going into Canada. And that's when the states and everything like that was still, and noted, I talked about this the other day. The case that you can look up is Love versus the state of Virginia. And in this case, this was a white man and a black woman that wanted to get married. And this was in 1972, and they were the last state in the union to still have on their books that it was illegal for two people of two opposite colors to, you know, marry, elope, whatever the case may be, under state. And in some case, I think they tried to press it to federal, but I don't think it went to federal. I think it was state, and then there were certain elements what they put within those statutes that many would consider racist or whatever the case may be. But if you don't need any more definition, this law was at one time called the White Slave Traffic Act. The White Slave Traffic Act. This is what the Mann Act was originally called. Guys, can you make sure you double tap that screen and hit that like button? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna share this because we got some scavengers in here. 1 second, guys. Just 1 second. Just 1 second, guys. All right, I'm back. I had to make sure I keep on sharing this. There's no reason you have over 120 people in your chat room and only 4 likes. I'm trying to tell you, I'm figuring out this new hustle, what they've got. They've got these scavenger subscribers, scavenger podcasters even too. And what they do basically is they go around, they won't like your post or anything like that, but they scavenge stories so they can do later on, put it up on their channel, whatever. Some of the most worthless people on YouTube whatsoever. I don't play it. At the end of the day, this is what you get for hanging with white folks. That is the most, you know, I live around, you know where I live at? Oh, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna keep reading this in a minute, but I want to address Herman Lewis. Let me tell you something. I don't know where y'all get this new thing from, where y'all feel like, and I'm talking about African Americans, a segment of them. I'm assuming that you identify with the FBA people. I notice they're the most war talking people online nowadays, but don't own a mass of guns, don't own no hospitals, don't own no grocery stores, don't own anything of importance in the facilitation of war. It's very funny ideology. So what I mean is you got to have tools if you want to go to war. Take it from a nigga that was in the street and did two bids. You know what I'm saying? You need tools and you need motherfucking bail money. And then after that, you need lawyer money. And then you might possibly need hospital stay money. So it's good to have insurance if you're a hustler. I know you ain't never heard nobody say that, huh? It's good to have insurance if you're a hustler. What if you get shot? What are you depending on? Charity? I've seen this before. Sometimes I know a guy who was partially paralyzed, and later on they found out if he would have had a certain type of care. You understand what I'm saying? Which usually is allowed it for people that have a little bit more. I think I'm gonna get into that too, because my mother was in that field nursing. I want to start talking about some of the atrocities. Y'all be surprised that happen in hospitals when it concerns people of color, period. It don't even matter if you're Indian, Latino, whatever. When you get people like Herman Lewis in here, now he's trying to psychoanalyze me. That's another thing. That's how I know this one comes from a woman. Women do shit like that. This is what women do. Women have a scare when they're talking to you. I'm going to get back to the story, but I just want to point something out. He came in here and he said, this is what Puff get for hanging with them white folks. Well, what would he have gotten if he would have hung with all niggas, is the question. And I can tell you what it would have been. Ridicule, joining the forces, people bashing on you, your family, your mother, your kids, everything like that. I knew all along. People specifically have an interest in bashing you, but not having interest in a man that has a case going on at the same time and did more atrocious things, which is Harvey Weinstein. He was on his retrial, which later on, he got a mistrial. Nobody complained. Nobody complained. This is at the same time Puff is on trial. I want you to underline that. I live in the state of Connecticut. 37% of my state is Italian American. If you can't tell it, I grew up and I've been around, especially in my later years, a whole bunch of Italians and Greek people. A lot of them are friends. A lot of them are, you've seen one of my friends who was on camera with me. He just happens to be Irish. But my man Red right there, you know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. When I hear people say, that's what he get for hanging with them white folks, when he's regarding the Puff, I'm sorry I had to stop this for a second, but I want y'all to understand. When somebody says something like that, I was at the Diddy trial for one, and I ain't seen nothing down there but a whole sea full of niggas. And the whole time that sea full of niggas was down there, they was letting every chick down there do what they wanted to do, acting how they wanted to act, talk how they wanted to talk, etc., etc., etc. I need y'all to hit that like button if it's over 170 y'all in here and it's 6 likes. But they were doing all this behavior at the same time in front of white cameras. That's my point. They were doing it in front of CNN. They were doing it in front of ABC. They were doing it in front of CBS. They were doing it in front of international outlets, etc., 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 etc. Pouring baby oil on each other, all kinds of shit or whatever. A lot of the behavior that y'all were ridiculing, these bloggers and some of these people and individuals down there were displaying. You understand? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dep, what up? I'm gonna get back to the story in a minute, Dep. I gotta hone in on something. I don't like when people come into the chat room and they trying to make this divisive thing based on race, or like this upcoming thing y'all got this weekend when y'all talking about, yo, we gonna boycott all the African braiders or whatever. Man, you go up and down 125th Street in Harlem, right? Especially the lower part going down towards, you know what I'm saying, towards, if you was walking down past the Apollo, past, you know what I'm saying, past the school, all that. I ain't gonna tell people too much. But anyway, if you was walking down that strip, you're gonna run into a whole bunch of little African braided shops. Some of them upstairs, some of them on the first floor, whatever, right? These girls, ask them a story of how many times they've been beat. Then I want you to go and I want you to ask any black girl in America that do hair on a regular basis. I ain't talking about, you know, you do these kitchen sink hairdos and all that or whatever. That's what my grandmother used to call a kitchen sink hairdo. But you don't do these kitchen sink hairdos or whatever. Now, you really got a salon built into your basement, or, you know, you got a point or something like that. Ask these girls, these black American girls, how many times a chick has tried to beat them, don't want to pay them, try to run up out their crib, their spot, or whatever. Ask the American girls. That's what y'all should have done. And see if this is what the behavior before you started saying, oh, well, we're going to trip on the Africans because they mad at us because motherfuckers be running. I saw a bitch jump out a window. Who saw that video on World Star? A bitch jumped out a window to get away with some hair. You understand what I'm saying? So, and a lot of times, those hair bundles cost a lot of money. So the hair itself costs $150, something like that. So when I hear people come in here and they got those attributes with them, or they say this is what Diddy get for hanging around with the white people, I say to you, sir, when the hell have you hung around somebody white? When have you hung around somebody African? A lot of times what you get is you get uncultured, uncured, uninvolved, unaccomplished, unaccredited motherfuckers in here want to just talk what they want to talk in the comment section like professional trolls. Now, I don't get off on talking about white folks only. I don't get off on talking about niggas only. But one thing I do see in my 6 years of being on here, it don't be nobody trying to take me out 95% of the time, whether it's flagging a motherfucker, over 200 people in the chat room right now, niggas won't even hit the like button. No, the only thing you got to do is double tap. The least support I get is from niggas, but they think their support is coming in and writing a fucking comment. I don't give a fuck about your comment, Herman. I can't stand a motherfucker like that. Always got some racist epithet to throw into the conversation. Ain't got nothing to do with that. Pup was out there getting pussy with a light-skinned black girl. 3 of them to be exact, last time I checked. All of a sudden, what the hell pussy got to do with, hey, excuse my French, y'all, what the hell vajay got to do with color you hanging with? That don't even make sense. This is the retarded motherfuckers y'all got that are basically professional spectators online. They throw out any fucking thing that come to their mind. That's what they get for hanging with the white folks. It's a white conspiracy. Lord, Lord, Lord. He gonna stay up at the big house? Ass motherfucker. He gonna stay up there. Him? Who that nigga on that nag ass motherfucker? Couldn't do a goddamn thing to help Pup if he wanted to. Get the fuck out of my chat. Now let me start this. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all make sure to double tap the screen and hit the like button too. Why is there over 200 people in there? There's only 15 likes. Here y'all go with that again. Lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs are requesting his acquittal or new trial altogether, nearly a month after being cleared of the most serious of sex crimes charging in a bombshell split decision. Combs' legal team filed for a motion late Wednesday, June 30th, asking the court to either overturn his conviction on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution or grant him a new trial, according to legal documents obtained. The request comes days after Embroiled Music Mogul's team asked again for Judge Aaron Sabaranian to release Combs on $50 million bond and allow him to live in his Miami mansion. You see what I was saying yesterday? Motherfucker, stop putting that motherfucking shit. You want to go to Miami. Now look what these niggas wrote. Now this is perception now. Judge Aaron Sabaranian to release him on $50 million bond, and this is the follow-up sentence. And to allow him to live in Miami. See, dumbass, stop telling these motherfuckers you want to live in Miami and California. See how they write this shit out? They'll use it to villainize you. Instead of the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York. And see how they followed that up with that follow-up? Pay attention. As he awaits sentencing in October, Combs' legal team once again argued that the use of the Mann Act, officially known as the White Slave Traffic Act, that was set up by cousin, and in my opinion, this is my added words, set up for Jack Johnson, who I just told you was his days Mike Tyson, which makes it illegal to transport people across state or international lines for the purpose of prostitution. In these circumstances, is unprecedented and raises concerns about discriminatory enforcement. Mr. Combs at most paid to engage in voyeurism as part of a swingers lifestyle. Many of y'all that's on this internet, y'all voyeurs and don't even want to admit it. Paid to engage in voyeurism as part of a swingers lifestyle that does not constitute prostitution under the properly limited definition of statutory term, Combs' team wrote. The defense team claims Combs, 55, is the only person ever convicted under the Mann Act, which they say has been historically abused by law enforcement. I'm figuring in little small towns like Hucker, Georgia, or somewhere like that, if you get my drift. Under similar circumstances, because he wasn't selling sex, having sex with prostitutes himself, or arranging travel to commit sexual assault, sex trafficking, or crimes against minors, or crimes against minors, or crimes against minors. Combs' defense further says that Revolt TV founder's actions were not prostitution, and that the Revolt TV's founder, and that his behavior filming and directing freak-off sexual performances is protected under the First Amendment and its conduct. On July 2nd, jurors found Combs not guilty of racketeering, sex trafficking, ex-girlfriends Cassandra, Cassie Ventura, and a woman known as Jane in a sweeping nearly 2-month trial. The jury convicted the Bad Boys record founder on charges of transportation to engage in prostitution, which carries a maximum penalty of 20 years in prison, or 10 years on each count. Prosecutors, though, have signaled that Combs himself may face lesser time due to federal sentencing guidelines. The motion continues that the proof of trial showed that he typically hired the services of male escorts or dancers, advertised openly through lawful businesses, and that the men were paid for their time and they enjoyed their activities and had friendships with Miss Ventura and Jane, and were not merely traveling to have sex for money. And this is true because we saw Cassie and the text of her having conversations, and she set up some of this stuff. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. In arguing for a new trial, the defense claims Combs' conviction was affected by inflammatory evidence stemming from a dismissed RICO charges, particularly with the 2016 surveillance video of the producer beating Cassie, which caused severe spillover prejudice. I said that from day one. They said that the video would have been inadmissible otherwise, and that the evidence of the Mann Act convictions themselves were weak. If Combs' motion is denied, his legal team will no doubt be awaiting a decision from the White House after President Donald Trump weighed in on the possibility of pardoning Combs' pre-verdict on May 30th in the Oval Office. Nobody asked about a pardon, the president said at the time, but I know people are thinking about it, and I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking, Trump added. I haven't spoken to him in years. He really liked me a lot. Thank you, good. I appreciate it. All right, I got another one for y'all. Let me read this one right here. I want y'all to make sure y'all have a spray of different ones right here. And then I want to read something else for y'all, too, because I want to give y'all a little bit more detail. In a 62-page motion, the music mogul's legal team argued that his conviction under the Mann Act, which bars interstate commerce related to prostitution, should be overturned. Can I get y'all to double tap the screen and hit the like button? It's over 300 people in here, and I got 18 likes. Like, come on, if you're racist or you're whatever you are, I don't care. If you're sitting here listening to me, you can't be that racist. You can't be that gender-centric. And whoever's sharing me, if you're sharing me to followers that don't like me, stop sharing me. I appreciate it. It does not take that much effort to double tap that screen and hit the like button. I'm not asking you for a Cash App donation or nothing. Just double tap the screen and hit the like button so we can get the ballers in here that do got some money. Jesus Christ. We looking for the ballers. We ain't looking for the $10, $20. Keep your nigga pennies. Just hit the double tap the screen. Thank you. Lawyers for Sean Combs on Wednesday asked the judge to vacate the jury's verdict that convicted him of 2 prostitution-related charges and grant him a new trial limited to evidence connected to those counts. At the conclusion of an 8-week federal trial in Manhattan earlier this month, Mr. Combs was acquitted of 2 most serious charges against him: sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, which focused on accusations that he had coerced 2 long-term girlfriends into drug-fueled sexual encounters with hired male prostitutes. But the jury found that Mr. Combs, known as Puff Daddy and Diddy, guilty of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, a lesser charge, but still one that carries a maximum of 10 years in prison for each conviction. In a 62-page motion filed late on Wednesday, the music mogul's lawyers argued that the jury's conviction of Mr. Combs under the Federal Mann Act, which bars interstate commerce related to prostitution, should be overturned. To our knowledge, his lawyers wrote, Mr. Combs is the only person ever convicted of violating the statute for conduct or anything like that, which was alleged in the case. Mr. Combs' lawyers have argued strenuously throughout the case in recent filing that the sexual encounters are at issue, referred to as the freak-offs or hotel nights, were consensual, and that Mr. Combs had no financial motive. And I say that we are not listen, I'm part of Bad Boy, was part of Bad Boy for 17 years, still carrying on my back, and I'm trying to tell you, I don't remember one time at Bad Boy Entertainment where we was told, hey, we going down here to Miami and we gonna have all these hookers down here. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all make sure they stay on the strip on Ocean Drive in Washington. That's all I need y'all to do. That's y'all new job. Just watch and make sure the hoes is in the club and at the strip and they getting daddy's money. That's how they were trying to project him. You understand what I'm saying? If that doesn't make any clear sense to you. All right, and I know that's not true. That's why it was weird to me in the first place. Y'all double tap the screen and hit the like button, please. I appreciate it. Double tap the screen and hit the like button. The defense also argued that the encounters which Mr. Combs often filmed amounted to producing amateur pornography, which is protected under the First Amendment, which it is. Mr. Combs at most paid to engage voyeurism as part of a swingers lifestyle, said in the filing, which is signed by Alexandra Shapiro, an appellant lawyer who was part of the Combs defense team. That does not constitute prostitution under properly and limited definition of the statutory term. At trial, the government rested this case. The defense made a motion under the rules of criminal procedure to acquit Mr. Combs of all charges, arguing that the prosecution had not proven his case beyond a reasonable doubt. The judge, Anron Samaranian, reserved his decision on that motion and has not yet ruled on it. In his latest motion, the defense said the judge does not grant its request for an acquittal. Mr. Combs should be given a new trial limited to the evidence related to the Mann Act charges, meaning they would basically eliminate all the stuff that happened with Cassie, all the testimony of Kid Cudi, all the testimony of Don Richard. That would not be paramount in this conversation anymore. And to that one light-skinned nigga that grabbed the word paramount from me and now trying to run it over at your channel, go fuck yourself. Anyway, long story short, it will not be paramount to this set. That's just my own thing. This will not be paramount in the case. You understand what I'm saying? Now that this relying on what did you convict him of the Mann Act, and it will revolve around that particular premise, and that's it. That's it. That parameter, whatever is extensive from there, or whatever was inclusive of them coming to terms to convict him of the Mann Act, which would most likely be testimony by the male prostitutes, because he was convicted of letting they say that he was bringing the male prostitutes in for and paying them or whatever. So it's the male prostitutes that would be the focus at that point. In the latest motion, the defense said that the judge does not grant a request for an acquittal. Mr. Combs should be given a new trial limited to the evidence related to the Mann Act charges due to the severe spillover prejudice for realms of inflammatory evidence related to sex trafficking and racketeering allegations. The defense specifically cited the security video from the Los Angeles hotel in 2016 where Mr. Combs was seen beating Cassandra Ventura, one of the women at the heart of the case. Some of the men who participated in the freak-offs have been hired through the escort service operating openly, and at least 2 have been identified as pornographic actors. At the trial, the defense argued that the men hired for the sexual encounters had been paid for their time, not for sex. Prosecutors pushed back strongly against the claim. Jurors were shown detailed financial records showing how various men had been hired and transported for encounters. And witnesses, including 2 escorts, testified that the men had been paid in cash. At one point, jurors saw text messages from Mr. Combs complaining about the escort's dispatcher and that the man that he had hired couldn't even perform. In closing arguments to the jury, Christy Slavic, a prosecutor directly attached to the defense argument that the men had not been hired for sex, attacked the defense's argument that the men had not been hired for sex, representing one escort who had been identified as Daniel. I'm going to spend no more than 10 seconds on this ridiculous argument. Mr. Slavic told juries because you know why Daniel and all the other escorts were paid. They were paid for sex. In another motion on Tuesday, Mr. Combs' lawyers asked for the judge to release Mr. Combs' intention on $50 million bond pending his sentence on the Mann Act charges. The judge gave the government until Thursday to respond. Mr. Combs' sentencing is scheduled for October 3rd. Now, I want to show you something, right? And I said this before. You know what I'm talking about, the bond hearing thing and the language in the other one that I just read. Notice the difference in the language, and this counts. The judge, on Tuesday, Mr. Combs' lawyers asked the judge to release Mr. Combs on detention of a $50 million bond. You understand? They just said release Mr. Combs from detention. They didn't mention Miami, California, any of these places. The other outlet did. This is the reason why you got to stop. If you're going to file for that again, pup, you got to stop putting in Miami. And no, your ass want to stay in New York. Matter of fact, buy one of them condos right next door to the federal courthouse. You stay right there for a couple months, sell the fuck off after that. All right, I'm going to read something else. I just want to read some of you guys' comments or whatever. I'm going to put my Cash App up here, do that. Guys, make sure y'all double tap the screen, hit the like button. I appreciate it if you would. Other than that, I know a lot of y'all that's in here watching me right now is a bunch of haters. Welcome to y'all, too. You understand what I'm saying? For all the weak vloggers, welcome to y'all, too, because you ain't got a story. So you're coming over here trying to grasp the story. Too late, you're slow. Anyway, long story short, let's see what everybody got to say. Salute, host. No, I ain't got no mods, man. I don't mess with no mods. I don't have nobody in the chat room promoting for me. It's just me. If anybody's here that does know me, please write my Cash App in the comment section so I can pin it. I appreciate it. What are my thoughts? My thoughts are this. I think that it is fair for Puff to... I mean, this is called the White Trafficking Act originally, a.k.a. / the Mann Act, which obviously they changed the name because it was offensive as time and decades passed, right? A lot of people are going to feel fueled by this. A lot of people are going to feel a certain way by this. Who cares? You're looking at someone who now has been convicted, and the victims are not Cassie. The victims are not Mia, Gia, whatever her name is. The victims are not Jane. The victim is not Don Rashad. The victim is not Kid Cudi. The victim is not none of these people that y'all keep continuously calling victims. They have been shown and in court to now not be victims. So now you have to walk off, except for Cassie. Y'all have to walk off from that. And a lot of people just can't walk off from that. And there's a lot of conversations out here still where you got people out here, they're just like, yeah, well, I know he did this. I know he did that. No, he didn't do any of that. Says the court. You understand what it says? Says the court. So all that stuff, all that testimony is done. Even if they have a new trial, you heard me read that it will only be inclusive of the convictions that they got, which was for the Mann Act. That's 2 convictions. You understand what I'm saying? 2 convictions for the Mann Act. Transporting prostitutes for what? To engage in prostitution and paying them. The prostitutes in the case and the matter of the conversation were men. You understand what I'm saying? Men. Men. It wasn't no women. We didn't, at Bad Boy Entertainment, we wasn't into the gigolo business. You understand what I'm saying? Wasn't nobody selling Vijay. Wasn't nobody selling D. Even though y'all had stories up here for years talking about this person was involved in the freak out. This person was involved in the freak out. Come to find out it wasn't nothing but 5 motherfuckers at the most. 5 broads, 5 Vijays. And the rest of it was D slinging everywhere. You heard chicks calling up. What you doing this Tuesday? Puffy out of town. Come on over. What you doing this weekend? Puff out of town. Come on over. I'm about to be in this city next week. Yeah, this is Cassie. Come on over. You need an extra 10? I got you. I get it from Puffy. Now, don't get me wrong. As nasty as these motherfuckers were, yeah, you was a nasty motherfucker, Puff. Fuck out of here. Oh, God, here we go with another one. There's more to the story. Dun, dun, dun. Let me tell you about people like that. You're going to have a whole bunch of nutty motherfuckers, regardless of what a judge rules, regardless of what the federal government rules, regardless of whatever rules. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to always have like that black gentleman that's in here, or black woman, or whatever you are, that's in here in my chat room right now talking about, there's more to the story. No, bitch, there ain't more to the story. There ain't more to the story. A federal government has chosen that. And they said it ain't more to the story. So if you want to be fucking Scooby-Doo, be my guest. You understand what I'm saying? And keep following up and following the same bullshit you've been finding. Nothing. You had motherfuckers at the beginning in the helm of this trial that was talking about that nigga gone. It's done with. He did this. He did that. 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 And come to find out he ain't do none of that shit. That's the shit I'm sitting on. If a motherfucker did something, he did something. But if a motherfucker didn't do something, I'm not sitting up here promoting that he did do it when he didn't do it, obviously. At that point, it's just common sense saying to you, all right, well, maybe he didn't do that shit. I can even see if you brought up something else. You understand what I'm saying? He did it all. He did it all. What have you done, Olivia? Tell us one of your deepest, darkest secrets. Watch this. This is how you catch them in hypocrisy. Tell us your worst moment so far and something you participated in, Olivia, that you now regret. Go ahead. And I know it's something. You done let a nigga hit in the bathroom at the local club. Huh? You might have motherfucking gave a sloppy one night when you had a little bit too much motherfucking Marnier, huh? Yeah? Huh? Tell us something in your life, Olivia, because like ye without sin cast the first stone. So, bitch, tell us something in your life that you've done that's embarrassing that we all should know about. Go ahead. I'm waiting. Y'all give me a sec. It's about to get quiet in the church mouse up in this motherfucker. This bitch is going to do one of three things. She's going to answer back with something sarcastic. She's going to try to change the motherfucking narrative and throw in a motherfucking remix. Or she ain't going to say shit at all. Which one is it, Olivia? What's it going to be, Olivia? What's it going to be? What's it going to be? You going to write something or not? And like I said, this is the problem. Whether it's a chick like Olivia or any of these other chicks, when you get down stone cold into it, because you saw she just got quieter than a church mouse, y'all got to start challenging these women that say these things. Now, the problem is a lot of y'all grew up around a lot of women and you're subservient to them. And I'm not talking about all you women. Some of you women, justifiably, I can understand how stories like this will make you nervous. You actually have a story of you being sexually assaulted. My condolences to you. I have none but the utmost respect for you. So I can understand how a story like this correlated could make you feel like that. And I don't want to take any of that away from you. No. But just like in sequence, like with this T-app shit, see, this T-app, y'all don't understand. And that's why I said, I think like my level of thinking is different. You guys don't understand what this T-Act leak did. And I want to tell you, Mark, Deb, all y'all, if y'all listening, Gayo, listen. This T-App thing, you need to look more into it because it's been a second breach now of the info that was on it. And let me tell you how this correlates with the story. There are women on there that are lying. There are women that are making videos talking about the women that are lying and asking the question and even reprimanding the women. Talking about, y'all did all this and y'all in there lying on men. There are women in there that have, there was one video and I'm going to post it up for you. This guy had over 30 negative in the red comments about him on the T-app, right? I'm going to show you how this works and how it correlates with Puff and other people. Can y'all double tap the screen and hit the like button, please? I appreciate it. Double tap the screen and hit the like button. If you know me, please write my Cash App in the chat room so I can pin it. I'm going to show you how this correlates. We all have the second breach of the T-app, right? Now, the first breach, this brought you pictures and IDs. The second one, this most recent one, brought you messages and interactions, okay? Messages and interactions. Now, these messages and interactions were spelled on girls going on guys' profiles that a lot of these girls have said were terrible guys, and some of these guys had 30 negative, whatever. These girls were asking, well, what's the D like? I don't care what he did. What's the D like? See, it's exposing these women. So you was willing to voluntarily go over there and mess with a dude that got 30 negative likes on him. So if a chick that barely got 2 nickels to rub together got this mentality, what the heck you think a chick that got disposal to multi-millions of dollars gonna do that can holler any hotel she wants to, hold up in any room she wants to, go and create any type of ambience or room that she wants to based on the fact she got the cash? This is the motherfucking shit that poor bitches do. Trust me. The average chick in New York, I can go get them 2 slices and a soda and they fucking with me for at least the next 2 hours. Now that's my point. You understand? So what I'm saying to you is, We got to start living in reality with this shit. And this shit promoting the man act. Now you bitches are sitting back and you talking about all these women. He ain't get convicted because of Cassie. He ain't get convicted because of Jane Doe. And that's what a lot of you retarded motherfuckers that didn't graduate high school, this don't goddamn get, and it just makes my ass itch. You understand what I'm saying? At this point. I'm like, do these retarded motherfuckers not realize that he wasn't convicted because of Cassie? He wasn't convicted because of this bitch. He wasn't convicted because of 50's ex. He wasn't convicted because of Gia, Mia, Sia, Via, whatever the fuck her name is. He wasn't convicted because of Don Rashad's testimony. He wasn't convicted because of Kid Cudi, that snitch ass motherfucker who y'all hold up and guard. Kid Cudi don't even give a fuck about black girls. He just went and married a white woman. Y'all ain't see it? And a European white woman at that. Y'all like, yeah, Kid Cudi. And what he do? He went and married a white woman. Ain't y'all mad? Ain't y'all upset? Nah, he was testifying against the nipple. We'll give him a pass. Weak motherfuckers. Niggas be having selective outrages, selective passes, selective it's okay, selective this, selective that, selective this, selective outrage, select. We mad at Pup, but we ain't mad at Harvey Weinstein. We mad at Pup, we ain't mad at the dude from Abercrombie and Fitch that's home on an ankle bracelet, was able to post bond, and he was messing with little boys. We ain't mad at Jeffrey Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, who arbitrated and orchestrated over 1,000 young girls to get freaking exposed to dirt. And no part in time since she's been interviewed 2 times now, 2 times, has one black motherfucker said anything. Puff was on trial for 3 women at tops that y'all got brought in front of y'all. 3 women at tops that y'all got brought in front. I think it was 5, excuse me. 5 women at tops. But Ghislaine and Epstein had a whole fucking island that the people from the Bahamas put their money together after this fucking piece of shit's death. Put together their money. A lot of people don't know this. They put together their money and they bought that house. Did you know that? The people of the Bahamas, where he had one of those houses down there. He had another home that you had to go up to a hill to go to or whatever. Jeff Epstein was nasty business, man. But you're not here. That's why I said all the selective shit that a lot of you hoes got, I ain't feeling it. Bitch, if you against sexual assault, that means you against sexual assault on an even plane. That don't mean you get selected with your sexual assault victims. You don't get selected with your sexual assault accused. None of that shit. No, you have equal plane. I need as much energy outside for motherfucking Ghislaine Maxwell as I did for Pop. But bitches is not going to do that, because just like the T-App exposed them for the weak individual hoes that majority of you bitches are, especially if you born between the years, and I keep saying this, if you born between the years of 1998 and motherfucking 2005, I know you on some fuck shit. To some degree or another, you on some fuck shit. There's only a few motherfuckers in between that diagram, that demographic that I just mentioned, that ain't on some fuck shit. The rest of those motherfuckers that are from that shit right there, and they walking around, and them old thoughts. I can't stand an old thought. I like older women, but I don't like no older thoughts. Older thoughts are a problem. You understand me? What y'all saying in here? It's all connected. That's why Diddy is getting off. And they didn't charge him with the RICO because the deal was done under the table. Oh, bitch, shut the fuck up. Here go another one of these bitches with the motherfucking conspiracy theories. Let me give y'all an example. Y'all make sure y'all double tap the screen and hit the like button. Let me tell you about bitches like Madame Cocha. Huh? Are you supposed to be French? Picapi ça, mademoiselle. On parle français, oui? Mandigla, on s'en vous plie. Vous me bêche sur la botte. Listen, this is the thing, right? It's all connected. That's why Diddy is getting off. And they didn't charge him with the RICO because the deal was done under the table. Y'all keep listening to these paranoid, schizophrenic motherfuckers. Let me tell you what it really is. Y'all got a lot of these bitches on here that ain't took their Adderall or nothing else in the morning. That's what you really got on here. That bitch left because she mad at me now. You got a lot of these hoes that ain't took their Adderall. A lot of these hoes ain't took their psychotropics or none of that shit. Have y'all ever looked at the amount of women in the United States right now that's on motherfucking medications for some type of mental illness? Y'all never seen it? Y'all never seen the numbers? See, this is the thing y'all don't get. Y'all act like when y'all online, y'all talking to these thespian bitches. These bitches, some of these bitches ain't even never graduated high school. You understand what I'm saying? Let alone went to a secondary collegiate institution. You understand what I'm saying? I've done both. So I'm trying to tell you, I can sense when somebody's a collegiate, even if they talk in ghetto. I can sense if they're a collegiate or if there's somebody, bitch, don't say nothing else in my chat room. I don't fuck with you. Don't say nothing in my chat room, bitch. We ain't friends. We ain't friends. We ain't friends. Don't get familiar with me, bitch. We ain't friends. Calm that shit all the way the fuck down. You got me fucked up, think I'm one of them niggas you fuck with. No, 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 no. Bitch, calm the fuck down. Don't write nothing else. Don't write nothing else, ho. That like I was saying, bitches like this one talking about the deal was done under the table. Da, 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 da. Bitch, you don't know nobody in the prosecution. You don't know none of the lawyers. You don't know the judge. You don't know any of this. Matter of fact, you or people like you that hint or try to give the perception that they do, people should start calling them out. We got people out here that's still talking about Puff was messing with kids, but when you actually got a motherfucker that was messing with kids and had his own island to do so, Jeffrey Epstein, and now there's a possibility that Ghislaine Maxwell, who facilitated, the same way y'all were calling out KK, talking about we need to bring KK to the stand. Ghislaine Maxwell, the bitch that actually got convicted of the most atrocious shit in the world. Let me tell you what it really boiled down to. It's just like that motherfucker that came in here earlier, Herman Lewis. And I want white America and other people in America to pay attention to this. What it really broke down to was race. See, they not mad about Epstein's victim. Listen to me. These same motherfuckers will cry and say, hey, you should feel sorry, for, you know, feel sorry for Cassie, feel sorry. They all in my chat room and shit, right? But what about them young girls? Cassie went under 16. What about them girls that were 15, 16, etc., etc.? What about them girls? Huh? That Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell not giving a little bit of testimony and talking a little bit, and there's rumors and mutters that she might get a pardon off of this because they want to find out what she knows. So y'all not upset about that? I don't see no protest going up Ghislaine Maxwell. I don't even see white women really protesting the possibility of what happened. The only thing I hear is pundits and, you know, fatter here and there, whatever, Potter here and there, whatever, but nothing really substantial that there was the kickback like they did with Puff. You understand what I'm saying here? So when I hear all these people coming in my chat talking about they mad about Puff, they mad that he filed an appeal, he's going to file something to get the case overturned and dismissed, I call fucking popcucky. That's what I call. That's what I call. I call the same behavior that's been exposed via the T-app now in 2 different posts. It's the same behavior that's been used here to steer and navigate here online. And I think the next thing that's going to happen, we're going to start doing a purge, and a lot of things are going to get released about these girls on these social media apps. I said at the top of the year, and if you were with me, a long-time subscriber, you remember me mentioning this. And how did I know this? I said 2025 going to be the year that a lot of women get exposed. And what's happening? Hoes is getting exposed. Have y'all seen these messages in the T-app? Have you heard what these women were doing? These women were in there not only lying on men, you understand what I'm saying? But even when men had negative reviews, they were still like, I still want to sleep with them. And you don't have to take my word for it because there's other women making videos bashing these women. I kept saying this. I said it's going to happen sooner or later. The good women, the good girls, the chicks you would want to marry, the ones they keep calling pick-me. So nobody call a woman a pick-me except for a hoe. Don't nobody call no woman a pick-me except for a hoe. Let me give you an example. Depp been with, I'm talking about G-Depp rapper. G-Depp been with his girl for a minute, right? G-Depp went through everything. I don't know the specifics and the emotions and everything like that when he was in prison. But one thing I do know, somebody was waiting for him when he walked through them doors. When he walked through them gates just changed out the Browns, somebody was waiting for him. See, that's love. And a lot of these girls ain't never been loved. Their parents ain't loved them. Family ain't loved them. And yes, a lot of them have been abused by family members. And I have the utmost respect for you. Trust me when I tell you that. Trust me when I tell you that. I know I talk a little crazy, whatever. Some other people, they try to get their matriculations or whatever do. But the reason I'm talking to you hoes the way I'm talking to you because I care about you. Y'all got to stop this shit. You're fucking up your own reputation when men don't even want to fuck with you. Because they scared. They nervous. Ask the average bitch how many times she been motherfucking approached this week. I'm not talking about pretty chicks. I said ask the average hoe. Not the chick that look like Cassie. The average hoe. Ask her when the last time she was approached. So now y'all got the T-app. Y'all had voices talking about this Diddy trial shit. You understand what I'm saying? Have all concocted this energy. That's why I don't understand why these chicks don't understand it. Y'all always be talking about the moon, the stars, the quasars, and fucking galactical connections and shit. You know what I mean? And y'all bitches don't understand this. You hoes and your father have created a vibe where niggas don't want to fuck with you. They'd rather just get in and get out. You understand what I mean? See, the same shit you talking about right now with the Cassie thing or whatever, the herald and paramount structure of the conversation is this: prostitution. Niggas would rather go deal with a prostitute than take a risk with your monkey ass. And you bitches ain't even thinking that. Y'all thinking in the moment, ha ha, yay for Jay, we're winning. Bitch, 5-10 years from now, y'all goals gonna fuck up the population, man. Y'all know what I mean by that? Listen, if you ever wanted a system of fucking control, that's why I said bitches is out here playing positions for opportunities, but you ain't playing positions looking at shit strategically. And I don't expect you to look at things strategically because you're not a man. 5 to 10 years from now, when you have the kids that come out and they're fucking from Generation Alpha or whatever, they're going to have the worst dating experiences of their fucking life. If you are a man right now and you're 15, 16, 17 years old, I feel sorry for you because these are the years you start dating girls or getting interested heavily in girls. Some guys is 13. I want my 13-year-old looking at girls. You go to school and learn some other shit. I know he's going to look at some asses and stuff like that, but look here, Junior. Get your ass back here at school after 5-10 minutes, all right? I'm going to be outside in the front to pick you up, all right? What you say? I said I'm going to be outside in the front to pick you up. I expect you to be in the car within 10 minutes. Anyway, long story short, the Generation Alpha kids, this is the place, and you notice somebody in my chat room said, huh? That's a unaccomplished, ungrateful, and not a great single mom. I could tell just by that reaction. See, what you don't understand is, let me put it to you in a better way. Cassie had two parents, right? I don't do key, bitch. Wrong guy. I don't do key. Cassie had two parents. Yet still, Cassie was out here slinging vajay, hitting off, doing this, doing that, whatever, calling up prostitutes on her own. Let's do this, doing drugs, whatever. We don't never want to say Cassie was a drug addict. Is that fair? Even Don Richard said Cassie was a drug addict. Camille said, whatever. Anyway, long story short, Cassie was a drug addict. Is that fair? At the time. Maybe she's a good girl now, but at the time she was a drug addict. You understand what I'm saying? She's popping them pills. Pop a purple. Pop a purple. Let me get another one, Puff. Okay, here, hold this. She was a drug addict. She was doing more than coke, though. She was doing coke, pills, all kinds of shit. You better read that shit a little bit deeper, Stephanie. She was involved in all kinds of shit. My point is, you know what I'm saying? She was getting high. It was even a Hot 97 interview she did. She was high up there wearing the sunglasses and all that shit. You know what I mean? Sitting up there like this. She was sitting up here in the fray. Hold on, I got y'all. She was sitting up in the fray like this. You know what I'm saying? She was like this in the interview. Yeah, it was a crazy night, man. Yeah. It was just crazy. No, it was just a wild night last night, man. Yeah. Puffy's great, man. He's great, man. Yeah. Fuck, Puff's great. Yeah. Nothing, man. It was just a wild night last night, man. It was like wild night. We did a freak off, you know. I had a cock over here, It was like, ah! The fuck? I ain't playing this corny shit no more. That bitch was a hoe, nigga. She was hoe. She was in her hoe phase. Respect the whole phase. You understand what I'm saying? You did what you did. You got 30 million all of it. You understand? Cassie would have did 30 million off of album sales, dog. Trust me. You ever heard Cassie without the fucking added shit or the vocals? I'm not trying to be funny. Well, how many Cassie songs you got on your Rolodex right now? How many of y'all went and downloaded Cassie songs since the trial? Let me ask that question. See, I could have papered it up. That's why I said these is fake fans. Y'all could have papered Cassie up. Only thing I gotta do is go purchase her single. You see what I'm saying? Like, imagine all them people from across the world, international. I want a number skew of how many people went and purchased her music after the trial started, or after the trial was over. I need to go look up those demographics. Let me see if Cassie had any increased sales during this trial. And I guarantee I know the answer. No. She probably had something else instead. You know what that was? She had increased streams, which ain't the same. Oh, no, that's not the same at all. A lot of people confuse increased sales and increased streams as two different, those are two different things. You know what I'm saying? People don't really even count streams like that. Okay, Cassie gets boost in sales during the. Let's see what happens. There's nothing here talking about she got a boosting. Everything is the same thing. Early career, 8 bombshell. There's nothing about her getting a increase in music sales. Nothing. Here, I'll even put music industry sales. Let's see if that works. Still nothing comes up. Okay, well, here's one. I'll read this one for you. In light of a high-profile legal proceedings involving Cassie Ventura and Sean Diddy Combs, there's been a renewed public interest in Cassie's music career and past releases. Reports indicate that Cassie may be considering a musical comeback following the legal battles and renewed attention to her story. Some sources suggest she is actively planning her return and exploring the possibility of releasing previously unreleased projects. Damn. Nah, listen, Cassie, just make some new music. Trust me, make some new music. Do not throw out the music that Puff and Bad Boy producers produce. Please don't do that. I just had to say that. She has reportedly registered new songs. Oh, you registered some songs with, oh, wow. So she registered with IRAA and fucking ASCAP this shit? Oh my God, really, bitch? I'm sorry. She reportedly registered the new songs and made amendments to the existing ones. Yeah, the amendments were that you get ownership of them. That's the amendments because Puff gave y'all back the publishing. That's what you amended. The previously born man, come on, man. You ain't slick, man. Remember, I'm Bad Boy too. We know how this go. You understand what I'm saying? I don't never tell them how it go. That's why I laugh at a lot of the audience when they come in here and they act like they know what's going on and they don't. Y'all give me a second. Let me share this real quick. Get some of the. Everybody's not gonna keep up with the conversation. I'm sorry, man. I told you guys before, like everybody's not gonna keep up with the conversation. Some people are not gonna like the way I talk. They use that as a reason to hate on me. Also, that I've worked with Bad Boy Entertainment for over 17 years. So, in the black community here online, they use it as a tool to kind of like hate on me or whatever. But I'm not doing that, but telling the truth. Cassie knows what she wanted and what he wanted low key. I felt she was mad seeing Young Miami getting these things in life and getting things. I mean, Young Miami is different from her. Young Miami's music was actually highly successful. Let me finish reading this real quick. The case and its effects on the entertainment industry have also drawn attention to Cassie's past work and her single "Me and You." See, it always goes back to that. The hit early in her career under the Combs label, Bad Boy Records. Her song units have supportedly passed 15 million. Listen, that song came out in the early 2000s, and for you to just get 15 million now, that ain't shit. I'm sorry. That's like if I uploaded a video in 2000. I'll say if I uploaded a video here on in 2018, and now in 2025 it's finally reached 1 million views. Just to give you a scoop, a scope. You know what I'm saying? Like, who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, her song units have reportedly surpassed 15 million in combined sales. Yeah, combined sales. That's why I said that's low. Like, they'll project that to you. The music industry and reporters have a way of projecting shit. We always do. We call it. See, I can't even tell y'all that. But anyway, it's a term for it. And niggas like Dame, all them, they know what I'm talking about. And so they do this, you know what I'm saying, in hopes that, it'll gain interest, but nah. You said it combined sales, nigga, 15 million in combined sales. Because I was like, there ain't no way that shit went motherfucking 15 million. Her testimony in court brought significant attention to her experience within the music industry, particularly concerning the alleged stifling of her career. She wasn't stifling, your music sucked. I promoted your music. Your music sucked. You had somebody come on and testify before I even told y'all her music sucked. If you listen to me and you got so many motherfucking, oh my God, me and you got so much traction put on it, so many patches and reverbs. I can't get the secret. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you're an artist. It's a lot of patches, a lot of plug-ins, a lot of punch-ins on that song. Trust me when I tell you this. She didn't make herself useless to stay around. The freak offs were a way to stay. I love what you're saying. I mean, it is if you want to make some bread. I mean, like, I'll say again, like, Puff, if somebody, as many of y'all know, and if some of y'all don't know or you're new here, I worked at Bad Boy Entertainment for over 17 years. I started when I was 21, getting ready to turn 22, and worked all the way up there until I was 38 years old, which was in 2016. So from 2000, going into 2001-ish, pretty much, I was there. 1540 Broadway was the address. Same address that a couple times, if not a few times, that I'm pretty sure Gene Dill was in as well. You understand what I'm saying? Who, if he was in that office, the pictures I post and everything else are from in that office. You understand? Including, I got pictures with me sitting at Puff's desk and shit like that. You know what I mean? This is how much we were around. We were around at one point on a daily basis. And so, when I first saw this stuff break or whatever, I remember the last project that we promoted for Cassie. I think it was Rockabye Baby, which was a mixtape. It was available on datpiff.com. Datpiff.com lost some of its energy by that time. You understand what I'm saying? Because basically what it became was there was a website before. It was called Napster. A lot of people may or may not remember Napster. The youngest ain't gonna remember Napster. But Napster was basically a file sharing site. There was another one called Pirate Bay. And people used to go on there and they would get movies, they would get files of software that cost thousands of dollars. I got Sony Vegas on there. Sony Vegas cost like $2,000, $2,500 at the time. It took me 3 days to download the disc. You understand what I'm saying? I used to have to burn them to a disc. Then you would have to install them on your computer. So this is back before apps were really popular. You'll get what I'm saying in a minute. Anyway, yeah, I'm telling them too much. Anyway, listen. I'm talking too much. Let me find another way to put this. Sometimes I do that. Y'all think I'm bugging. I just cut myself off because I don't get financially supported on here. So I'm very careful about what I say to people. You know what I'm saying? I only know the whack-ass unofficial girls. So, yeah, I mean, this is what people were doing with datpiff.com. And they were, like, going there and they would download songs that they like or whatever. They still exist, too. But they were, their antithesis, and I even say for Apple Music Store and iTunes, the antithesis comes from Napster. And Napster was brought in front of Congress at one time or whatever, which I think eventually is going to happen with these streaming companies. Somebody needs to if they happen. I think they're going to bring these streaming companies and make them break down their revenue chains or whatever, and even inclusive of, reimbursing people. Because in my opinion, these streaming services have fucked up the music game. Not the artists, it's the streaming services. You understand? So when her mixtape and I think it was King Los, they both had similar covers. You know what I'm saying? You good, man. You see I ain't block you, right? You see I blocked them other niggas. I could take a chick talking a little shit to me. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I'm all right with that. You know what I'm saying? This is why I could take my chick going out. She got a nice round bubble. I could take her going out in some yoga pants. Every now and then, I like my chick to shake a little ass, let them know what I'm working with. You understand what I'm saying? So I can take a little mouth sometime. You know what I'm saying? It's just be what chicks say sometimes. You know what I mean? But I got two sisters now. I got tough skin when it comes to that. Just when you come in here and say something about my peoples or something like that, then we somewhere else. But yeah, I worked at the company. You understand? So that's what I'm known for. Since day one, I've been on here. This pup thing just happened to overlap and pass after that. If you go on my history of my channel, you will quickly find that out. I often, most of the time, I ain't gonna do it today, show pictures and stuff like that or whatever. My, my past endeavors at the company or whatever. Um, Sometimes another here and there I have artists that come through and slide through here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Dep, yeah, yo, a couple other people. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I have people as part of Bad Boy staff to slide by here. You never know who up in here. And, everybody know how I am. I'm not different. I'm always like this. I'm always like this. People that met me down at the courthouse like, damn, he really is like that. Like, you know what I mean? What you see here is what you get. This is the real me. My apologies. So you fine, Mom. Pixie Lee, what's going on? Is that Pixie Dust? I think that's what it was. She needed to make herself useful. I'm gonna read some of y'all's comments. Cassie knows what she wanted and what she wanted low key. I read that one. Diddy tried after a while. His friends started saying, "Drop her. She's not bringing in what she's not bringing." I don't know about that, Steph, but I do know because it's somebody that recorded at Daddy's house recording studio. See, y'all don't know. Hey, let me show y'all. I have to show y'all that because y'all gonna be like, huh? Think a nigga, these niggas be on here talking. I know what you're saying. Trust me, I know what you're saying. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick, prove my point. I don't be lying. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I don't get off on is lying. I ain't gonna never tell you or come up here and say something to you and lie to y'all to get some views or something like that. That's why people mess with me because I don't never do that. I don't lie about taking what I do with people's donations and stuff like that. But people will lie on me. Trust me, I had a lot of people lie on me. And none of these people, if you put it in a square of writing this down and putting it in perspective, none of these people can compare to me as far as their accomplishments so far. Know what I'm saying? Including if you've been on as commentary for some broad that don't like niggas. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So yeah, that ain't no accomplishment, man. Here y'all go. You can play this. This is my music. Like I said, this is Diddy's Puff Studio or whatever. This is all me right here. Hold on, let me take that off because that music right there, that's Rihanna. I put that at the beginning of the video, but if I play that here, you know what I'm saying? Here we go. Daddy's house recording studio shit is live up in here. We're ready to do another one, whatever. My man Brian hooked me up. It sounded nice. Shout out to Brian. And that's my song, if y'all wondering. Where would you go? What would you do? Who would you screw? Call it how I live it up just like a ball. I just planted in the penny, probably ended in the mall. 24 hours to live. Where would you go? What would you do? Who would you screw? Live it up just like a ball. Probably ended every penny, probably ended in the mall. Where would you go? What would you do? Who would you screw? Call it how I live it up just like a ball. Probably spend it every penny, probably ended in the mall. And yes, that's me in the booth. And you go. What would you do? Who would you screw? Just like a ball, probably send it every penny, probably ended in the mall. An arrow up a dream, still on the king of diamonds. 10 minutes is sparking her, Rihanna was a diamond. Tell them all F y'all. I heard we met F y'all. I'm done till never again. I'm hoping till I'm just again. Chick till never again. Hang it up, I'm done. Another 20, yeah, I'm done. Nice thing on my record, this will rock it till it's done. I'm so high, no more paper chasing. The whole time I was chasing. So that's one of them. Hold on, I'll show y'all some more. So I just want to let y'all know, yeah, your boy be there. You know what I'm saying? Here's another one. Shout out, y'all know this guy right here. Make sure you check out this new joint, man. Big Booty Judy Power. Clapping in the clubs, this50.com. Yeah. Check them out on YouTube. Everywhere. And the new joint that's hot. What? It's for you West Quest on Power 105 too, man. Hot. Nigga, that's hard. Yeah. Woo. Professional, hard. Yeah. Woo. Flow, hard. Woo. New York, we back. Woo. We never left. That's hard, nigga. That's my nigga right there. Thank you. Yeah, man. Always live. And no funny style, you know that. Facts. My man's right there. Appreciate that, man. Like I said, there's a couple of them in here. Here's another one for y'all. 740. I'll play another one in a minute just to prove my point, get my point across or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That was the home. So if you asking me why I'll be talking about this Diddy stuff and all that, whatever, you don't know me. That's why, because I worked with the company for so many years. I mean, we were there the first year I started. Put it this way: the first year I started, we was on trial with Puff. That's crazy, and that was where the shooting with Sean and all that. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. When you said you worked for Bad Boy, I realized I should have been quick to listen and show. A lot of people don't do that, and that's the reason why I don't like. Let me give you an example, Miss Couture. I'm gonna put it to you like this. I had one particular vlogger, right, which was a male vlogger, which was weird. Let me tell you my story how everything got skewed. So the reason you'll see me do podcast after podcast and nobody donates to me or whatever is some of the women that you hear me calling out of their name in my chat room. These women have now, and this is why I don't want you to fall in it or a lot of other women fall in it, because it takes an intelligent woman to admit that she's wrong. Not many women will do things like that. But there's a skew of women and men, particularly I find men in the LBGT community that are on the toxic end of the LBGTQ community. Because there's three people from the LBGTQ community that come over here and check me out, including one of them that always writes my Cash App, always showing the utmost support on my channel, whatever. I'm never gonna say anything bad about them. Plus, I got a cousin, a female cousin, that's damn near married to a woman. I've said this since day one, so anybody try to come at me or something like, "Oh, your cousin gay." Nigga, I know. I told you. You understand what I'm saying? So, fuck all that. My point is, these people, they were amongst the first, and I'm sure you've heard this before, Stephanie and Mud Contour. Um, what you had was these people that created this terminology. It's like you're a Diddy supporter. That's what they used to say. I had to get it up. I'm gonna sell that. I'm gonna sell that song. I'm gonna put it back up. I'm gonna post it. I got a whole bunch of music I'm holding on to, like a whole bunch. But I appreciate y'all think I at least sound good. Um, because that song's old, and that's what happened. Like DMX's song he first broke out with, uh, uh, where my dog's at. He had wrote that. He wrote that joint like 5 years before. It always happened like that. You know what I'm saying? He had it done and finished 5 years before that. Same thing with ASAP. Same thing with a couple artists. You know what I mean? So it happened like that. A lot of times it's just a product. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter when it was invented, as long as it's still sonically resonant to what's going on currently. Anyway, long story short, and I thank you for that compliment. You had a lot of these male vloggers and these toxic female vloggers, and I want both sides to pay attention to what I'm saying, especially the women, because sometimes y'all can get sucked into these toxic motherfuckers, and they're not. That's not where you belong. You was raised by an uncle in them. You was raised by a father. You got brothers. You got a son. You don't belong with them worthless broads that talk like that. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why I'm trying to get a lot of women to understand. There was a time in this country, and I remember my own grandmother used to come out of her mouth and say this: "Don't you bring them little dirty ass whores over here in my house." She used to tell the kids that. I got a whole bunch of girl cousins too. They used to tell the kids that. "Don't bring them little nasty ass fast whores over here to my house." On my other aunt, she had this terminology: "It smelled like a French whorehouse in here." Told you, my mother's black American, with respect. So I just I want y'all to start understanding that quickly, because they're running a trick on y'all. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of these men, they'd rather go along and coddle the fact that there's a trick going on. And the trick is to get the women away from the men so they won't procreate, because in reality, they're tired of you. That's at the helm of the whole story. America is tired of you. They don't want you here no more. They look at it as like, okay, we brought him here for labor. Labor's done. What do we do with him now? Then you saw what Abraham Lincoln had planned or whatever. He's going to send everybody down to Belize. That would Island of Belize would not have fit us. Not to mention that there's a natural born society down in Belize that's Indian folks. You understand what I'm saying? Ain't that right, Shine? That motherfucker. Anyway, that motherfucker. Anyway, right? Never mind that. Big diplomat, are you? Big diplomat, are you? Anyway, fuck that guy. Anyway, long story short, and I got my reasons behind that. Anyway, long story short here, when you fast forward and you move towards the future here, they're feeding into the girls that they shouldn't be next to their man. A white man is better for you. whatever, whatever, whatever. White men and white culture have their own thing going on, which if you're white in here, you will admit. It's not the fact that you're dying off. It's that y'all's bitches is waiting to 43, 45, 50 years old to have kids. They're not having kids when they're in their 20s and 30s anymore. Your women, white women, are having children now and have been having children for about the past 15, 20 years. That's what's slowed down your generation growth. And anybody, I'll be selling it soon. Mom. And thank you for the inquiry. That's what's really going on. And it's a double-sided coin to this. You have white men now being promoted to date each and every last race of woman that's out here, and y'all ain't seeing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they decided not to give him the bail yesterday, Matthew. And today he's filed for acquittal. I'll read it back over to you, plus some other stuff in a minute. We're not done here. We're far from done here. Guys, make sure y'all hit up the Cash App. It's an hour mark. I ain't do that for myself. Make sure y'all hit up the Cash App. If you don't have Cash App, there's a Vimo link. And also double tap the screen and hit the like button. That does so much for me. Just double tap the screen. I know a lot of y'all don't know what a like button is. Just hit the screen 2 times like that. Now give me a like. I appreciate it if y'all could do that. What you're really into is you're into survival tactics from a certain specific group of whites. This specific group of whites is so keen on, and they're unlike regular white folks, and there's some black people that are into it too. These folks are so in tune to genetics and the future of genetics. And it's always been that. You can take this back. If you don't believe me, ask your nearest Jewish neighbor. Ask them. They know the pure definition of what I'm talking about here. So what you're having is you're having the Reich. You're having them try to rise again. And they're feeling very proud now because some of the they're looking at the current president as the antithesis, but y'all don't understand why. Y'all think they're looking at Trump because Trump is a white man, and Trump has certain policies that back the white man. No. That's not why they're looking at Trump. See, something you don't know about Trump. Trump is one of the Germans. See, I didn't know that, did you? Hondigda. He's a German. You didn't know that. His father is a German. His mother was a German. They were born in Germany. He has a home in Germany. Mr. Fratz, the original name of the family. So, they adapted the name to sound more American. I want to laugh, but I don't want to be key. You already stepped. You could key on that shit. Trump's a German. And not just a German. And this explains why he's always had an Austrian wife. He's always had a foreign wife. You ain't never noticed that? Ivanka Trump, Melania. You never noticed that? See, sometimes it's the small details that tell you the big story. Y'all look for the secret details and then try to create a narrative that tell the story. No. If you get a whole bunch of SS supporting Eugenics, right wing, and they see a president that has a German background. Who else had a German background? And what was he into? Eugenics. See, eugenics has always played a part in this country. They've done it with the Chinese when they had them in concentration camps out in California, which later on California apologized for. If anybody's in here from California, please make sure that you add on that you know what I'm talking about. They did the same thing in the concentration camps, which we all know about, but they also did it as part of the Tuscany experiment. They also did it in many other different forms or whatever, even if it goes all the way back, and some people don't even want to point it out, even if it goes all the way back to the 1800s. Okay, I really say the late 1700s coming into the early 1800s was when the first time they started really picking apart, and then later the Sigmund Freuds and everybody else, what the human brain actually could do. And they tried to, I'm trying to tell you what's going on. Now, you don't have to believe me. And if you don't, hey, that's on you. But what they did was they try to pick apart the brain, and you'll hear interpretation of this shown in Django Unchained. And Django Unchained is one prolific point, and I knew exactly what he was talking about. He said, "Me and all my finalists, what do they call them? Financialist friends. I forgot what they call them, but there's a study of the brain." And I forgot the terminology for it. If anybody knows to write it in the what's the name? He said, well, basically physicians that study the brain. He said, me and my phenologist friends, I think that's phenologist. He said, me and my phenologist friends, we came to the conclusion that it's a subservient part of the brain and blah, 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 blah. And it's programmed to do nothing but servitude. This is what he was talking about, the Negro or black genome in the brain. He also said this about Aboriginals and many other different indigenous cultures, including what they ran into with the Aztec Indians, the Mayan Indians, the Arawak Indians, the Taino Indians, and the Caribbean later on. They said the same thing about them. They do this wherever the conquistadors or the conquerors or the Portuguese or the Dutch or the Germans, who a lot of people don't even know that the German Dominican friars is where the Dominican Republic gets its name from. Did you know that? And the reason they get it from the German Dominican friars, and the reason anybody's Dominican knows this, the German Dominican friars basically financed the trip for the Spaniards to come and conquer. And so as honor to them for funding most of the trip and most of the endeavor, they named and commemorated it after that. Yeah, Dominguez, all that, da, 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 da. But talk about the German Dominican friars. And tú sabes, por la gente dominicano, la República Dominicana, tú sabes, creo que sí, en la mente, en la corazón, tú sabes, ¿no? La historia, tú sabes, no siempre, pero ahí, en la corazón. Yo saben la mente, en la más. God damn it, yes, Trump's wives have all been formed. I never beat that. He's from a German background. That's why Trump's wives, Melania and Ivanka, if you understand me, they've always been from Germanic heresy, not German. He couldn't never do a straight up German girl. But if you speak on Deutsch, that's what Trump did. So Trump has had 2 wives and kids that basically come from a German heritage. Now, if you equate that with far right wingers and people that are into those racist things and into eugenics, not white people, but white people that are involved in that. And I'm going to talk about the black people that are involved in these separatist movements in a minute too, because they're dividing not only the country, but they're a problem because they don't have anything to offer except for protest. You understand what I'm saying? Protest is not going to get you away in this country anymore. We protested for Michael Brown. We protested for Trayvon. We protested for all these people that something terrible has happened to. Ain't a motherfucking thing changed, because in 2005 you can see the same fucking thing happening in front of your face. All right, so let's not do the pretend shit. I don't do the pretend shit very well. Now, moving on here. The reason I say eugenics is at the core of this whole conversation is because the pure simple fact they don't want the men. It's always been a problem with the men. Like, let me give you an example. Even in the slave days, they would, hawk off the man's foot. You saw this, and you ever seen the movie? And I think a lot of y'all should see it, Roots, if you haven't seen that movie. I think in today's generation, I think anybody that's over the age of 40 years old should make sure their kids watch Roots, make sure their kids watch Django Unchained, make sure their kids watch 12 Years as a Slave. And I'm going to tell you why. Because what's happening is, as you motherfuckers are assimilating into the capitalist world, it's blinding you to where you come from. And what you'll find out universally with most cultures in the world, that's one thing that they don't do. They don't keep running away from what they're from. And your totalitarian capitalist views are shading you from what's really going on. See, money can blind you. Remember the King Midas? Everything he touched turned to gold. That include the food he ate, dumbass. Y'all don't know the story? King Midas, everything he touched turned to gold. Well, that's including the food that you ate too. And what happened to King Midas soon after that? See, greed has always been used as a shield to blind people. And so when you get a whole group of people that previously has always been, let's say historically, not poor, but in the realm of middle class, or what some people would consider nigger rich, right? This is the terminology that a lot of whites use that are racist. Not cool white folks, not good white folks, but racist white folks. They say nigger rich. Trust me, I live in Connecticut. I know this term. All right, so long story short, and a lot of y'all ain't gonna understand this, and I don't accept you to understand this. But what I'm trying to tell you is they're trying to basically X the men out. That's the problem. And it's not going to be a hard problem because in the population right now, if you do the demographics, there's 3 to 4 black women for every 1 black man. This is what black women don't understand, I think, in a whole front. And I say, I don't, like, for all the intelligent ones, you need to start, like, doubling down and looking at a couple of those factors or whatever. Because what I find is a lot of these women, they get into these conversations and they want to be dominant in the conversation. You're not going to get anywhere trying to pull dominance over me. You will get beat every fucking time. I can beat you physically. You understand what I'm saying? So as long as I can beat you, I'm not saying that directly, but I'm saying if I can beat you physically, you are never a threat to me. Ever. You understand what I'm saying? So you're going to find a hard drive trying to create these narratives and sell these narratives to people a lot of the times, right? So let me put in perspective to you this. If you have 2 groups of people and they're at each other and it's being projected that the money is over here, the money was with who though? The white folks. So what I'll do is I'll go over here and bend knee, I'll kiss ass, I'll follow their notions or whatever, even if it goes against the people I'm claiming to represent. You understand what I'm saying? I can clear out a couple of motherfuckers that's like that right now. What's the chick's name that says she wanted to get rid of what is it? Defund the police or defund the police? That chick is a problem. Later on, she had an incident in her own crib. You understand what I'm saying? And had to call the police. It was funny. What's the other chick's name is out here? There's a couple of them, but they're prime examples of this, where they feather capitalism over culture, and that's a problem. Anytime you value capitalism over culture, what you have is a culture that's getting ready sooner or later to evaporate. And what happened with the Romans is clear indication of that. They got greedy. You know, the Romans were responsible for killing Jesus, don't you know? And so they fell as a society. If you look at most societies, when they start putting their emphasis into greed and capitalism at an extreme measure, they slowly start to fall or their economy starts to slip. It might do it slowly, but it does it fast. But another thing you'll see is birth rates go down. Oh, when there's certain situations where birth rates go up, but most of the time when you have an emergency and it involves deploration of food, deploration of resources, things like that or whatever, most of the time you get people having less and less babies. But there are exceptions. You know, sometimes poverty can bring about more babies. But in extreme poverty, and what you're having now is you're having women value poverty over a mate. And now, when you get out of your birthing ages of 40 to 45, which most people have predictably seen, this is when you'll wake up and realize, oh my God, what the fuck have I done? Just like Martin Luther King, when he signed over what was it called? What was those things? The 1968, I forgot what it was called there. What was those things called there? Jesus Christ, I can't think of the name of it. But the Civil Rights Bill, and there was things that were written into that with Nixon, I believe, at the time, or one of the two. And he said, my God, what have I done? I've sold my people out. That's what a lot of you bitches is doing online. You're selling niggas out for a Fendi or a Birkin bag, basically. You're selling your whole culture out, and you're saying this Mercedes is more important. You're saying this home ownership is more important. You're saying this, what's the name? But never in these discussions do you hear these women say, collectively, what do you want to do? You'll never hear these, and it's more of them than it is of us. This is why a lot of these women, they complain, talking about, oh, these white niggas are going over here getting these white girls. No, it's just too many of you. It's too many of you. Like literally right now, if I wanted to have 4 girlfriends, I could have it. And y'all all would have equal time with me. I'm dead serious. There's too many of y'all. You understand? So y'all now turning into Wonder Woman in the island, if you want to get what I'm saying here. And so, and it's slowly happening. You don't realize it. But the more you alienate yourself from your men, financially or otherwise, you're going to find yourself in the kapuckle within 5 to 10 years where you're going to be looking around. You're going to be like, damn, nobody looks like me anymore. And that's going to be a fucking game changer for you. What are you saying in here? We're far from done, y'all. One of the reasons why I named myself Mode or Couture is because of what you're talking about right now. My question is, are you Mod or are you Couture? I'm neither. I'm Davin Lewis. I'm just a plain simple musician. I like to think of myself as a noble, but at the same time, distinguish myself as being one of those that likes to be a leader in the contrarian sense. Does that make any sense? And later on, I will be remembered as a centurion, maybe possibly a maverick. But sometimes when you're saying things to people, they don't get it till later. Sometimes people get it right then. I try to find the people that'll get it right now. You hear me? So I'm glad you did that. And I'm glad I didn't block you. Guys, make sure y'all hit up the Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80. I showed people yesterday. YouTube paid me for 400,000 views. Y'all ready? $52. A lot of you not. I'll show you in a minute. I showed guys the other day. So at the very least, double tap that screen, hit the like button. We also have products for purchase or whatever, men's and women's personal fragrances or whatever from Macy's. Make sure you check them out. I'll get a little compensation off that. But if you don't have Cash App, there's also a Venmo link in the description box, and there's also, as you saw me share this, is also there. You can also go to my last podcast yesterday. I forgot to put the PayPal link in here, but my last podcast yesterday has the same thing. Thanks, B. Wayne. I appreciate it, man. Let me continue on with this conversation about this thing that they're trying to do with us, and y'all should be privy of it. And hopefully it'll stop both of the genders from arguing. Because, like I said, those girls that I added this in the conversation when I said the thing about those girls over there at the T app. And if you remember, I was one of the first motherfuckers, even before the major media, that was talking about this T app thing. I was talking about it last Monday. I started the conversation about it. And you can go back to that podcast last Monday, and it's there. It's even written in the description. I ain't changed nothing. You understand? So, this T app thing, the first breach reached 13,000. This is the one I'm saying. Reached 13,000. All right, there's more than 13K women that was on that app. I wanted a lot of these blogs that are underlining that. That means this was maybe 1/4 or a third or whatever the case may be. Totality of these girls here on this T app. Just listen to me. These girls on the second breach, you started seeing their messages, and their messages don't go in line with an app that's set forth to what? To protect women. Now, this is the thing. Out of that 13,000 that was released, those 13,000 girls were pinned as having the most heinous stuff. The other girls were left alone. There's more than 13,000 people on that app. How do you know, Davin? Because it went #1 in the App Store. Goddamn Tetris is the one to beat. What's the other one? Farm Simulator, that's the other one to beat. What's the other one? The Ant Game, that's the other one to beat. There's a lot of downloads to beat. Diablo, there's a lot of apps to beat in that, what's the name, for that to become #1. And you ain't doing that with 13,000. So this is one thing that a lot of these vloggers, they're not underlining. But that's a lot of motherfuckers. That's a lot of motherfuckers from across the nation, black, white, Latin alike. And these chicks are just telling you, we either want to mess with a loser, regardless of what you wrote in there. We rather mess with a loser. You understand what I'm saying? Because we can control the loser. Contrarian, that's what I said. It believes to me to be this. That 13K, y'all ain't picking the bigger picture. That 13K is 13,000 worthless, useless motherfuckers that can spread their worthless, useless message that's bathed in, I'm not that attractive, low self-esteem, whatever it may be. I ain't got that much of a personality, whatever the case may be. I ain't met the one for me. Whatever is ripped in, we all got our problems. You understand what I'm saying? We all got our problems when it comes to attracting somebody and keeping somebody. We all got our problems. Even if you're beautiful, you got problems. You understand what I'm saying? And keeping a motherfucker. That's the point. Keeping a motherfucker. Not getting a motherfucker. Keeping a motherfucker. Thank you very much, Stephanie. I appreciate that. And the rest of y'all, make sure y'all support the Cash App. $STRINGERBELL80. I don't do this all for Cash App, but dog, I've seen people getting thousands. I had this earlier, 300 plus people in here, and nobody wanted to hit double like on the tap. So, you know, support the channel, man. I've been here all week, man. I put in work, you know what I'm saying? And I do edits. So I throw up shorts and everything else. So make sure y'all check that out too, because a lot of my shorts be dropping some crazy shit to y'all. Y'all don't be paying attention. I be like, I'm telling y'all don't get it. Like, I can't tell you like that, but I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? Like, what part do they don't get it? This app has allowed 13,000 women on there that can loosely sit there and influence another 13,000 girls. Then them 13,000 girls influence another 13,000 girls. Next thing you know, it's your niece, it's your daughter, it's your baby girl cousin or whatever. You looking at her like, Keisha, what you doing with the thotty dress on? What you doing with the thotty dress? Well, let me tell you, Missy over at Thoughts of Love of Us over on Instagram, she said it was all right to wear stuff like this. So I went over the Thoughts and everything they wear is okay, Instagram, and that's what she said to wear. But what I tell you to do? But mom, she's more important than you. This is what these Generation Alpha niggas will tell you. And they'll tell you to your face. I got a video I'm going to post up. This chick, she had to call the police on her own son because she was scared of him in the house. It's out of control. And right now, what y'all motherfuckers got to do, especially the women, because I've seen some of this evidence on the second breach over there at that T-app, and I want to talk to black women for a minute. It is no benefit. I call a lot of y'all a lot of motherfucking names. I'll use a perfect person, for example. I don't motherfucking like Tisha Tells. Not because as a person, I don't like what the fuck she does. And I think a lot of people get that confused. You understand what I'm saying? But one thing I will say is this. If I, regardless of all that shit get removed, if I ever saw Tisha Tells walking down the motherfucking street and somebody was jumping on Tisha Tells, I think y'all get that part fucked up about me. You understand what I'm saying? I'll be the first motherfucker to help this broad out. Whether I like her or don't like her, you ain't gonna touch no motherfucking girl of color in front of me, motherfucker. Now I'm talking about somebody from the opposite culture trying to do something to her. You understand what I'm saying here? I'm black and Cuban, bro. You understand what I'm saying? You're not gonna win this argument with me. So my point is, I don't like when the women, because you don't understand this, the women get online and you bash the same men that at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, if you were getting attacked, who gonna come to your defense? You think it's gonna be Brian from motherfucking HQ? You think it's gonna be Greg? No, bitch, if you're walking through Brooklyn at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, somebody jump on you, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be one of the local hood booger niggas that you out there making fun of every day. Here go these niggas standing in front of the store again. Here go these niggas selling drugs again. And then little do you know, these are the same niggas that come to your defense and then running up to you, yo, mom, you all right? You good? You know what I'm saying? And you worried about the octave and their dictation. Nah. See, it was a time in this earth that women, regardless they lived in the hood, and you'll hear the same rhetoric. Like a chick, you gotta catch a chick around about 55, 60 something that'll validate this for you. Them older chicks that you got that's like 55, over 60, 65, go sit down and talk with them. You know what they're gonna tell you? They're gonna tell you, yo, back in my day, if I was coming home and I had some groceries or whatever the fuck, them niggas would be out there talking, let me help you. You good? You da. I know niggas that used to, they would find out somebody was fucked up and ain't had enough money, especially like, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, for groceries or whatever. That's where I got it from. I provided Christmases for 3 sets of kids, and it wasn't even mine. And only one of the girls, and this was home my mama, and only one of the girls, literally one of them I ever slept with. And that's because I was messing with her then. She had a daughter, and she was like, yo, I'm messing with her. I was like, you know damn well you ain't got to worry about that. Like, there's stories of me. People get fucked up, and I don't tell these stories because it look like you bragging. You understand what I'm saying? But somebody say, "Yo, you ought to bring that up." I say, "Yeah, I get you," but then they think you phony with the story. You know what I'm saying? I don't get off on that. But I provided. I was on my 12th set of step kids, nigga. There was a time when women out here knew that these men, and instead of chastising, they knew this was their best motherfucking ammo. So I'm gonna tell y'all again so y'all don't understand. When you see them niggas at the corner store, you see them niggas at the block or whatever, and you don't like the fact that they done said something to you like, "Hey, Mon," I'm talking about specifically in New York City tri-state. "Hey, yo, Mon, you got all that? Y'all know we talk like that." The fuck? You got nephews that talk like that, but you coming from a conservative job, and you like, "Hi, my name is Keisha Pequarion." You thinking like that in your mind. You got to learn how to turn that shit off. See, when I used to leave the office at BMG, and see some of them, they think I'm talking this, and I'm talking it from an unexperienced background. No. When I used to leave MTV, when I used to leave BMG, whenever I left Arista, wherever I left, what's the name, and people will contest to this. I left all that record business shit right there. I used to come back, hang out with people. They wouldn't even know I worked at Bad Boy. I wouldn't even tell them. I didn't even tell people when I was on MTV till one day I came back to Connecticut and I was hanging in the projects. God bless Crystal High Rises. I was hanging over there, my man Abdul, he was like, "Yo, nigga, I just seen you on TV with motherfucking Eve today." I was like, "Hey," you know what I'm saying? And then one time they was like, "Yo, I just see you on TV with motherfucking Ja Rule. What the fuck?" Like, you know what I mean? So that's how that was spread. I never really bragged. Like, I just showed y'all some videos of me recording at Daddy's house recording studio. Yeah, I ain't know that because I never told y'all. I don't brag about shit. Yo, I worked with Puff for 17 years. I mean, it's a flex, but I mean, that shit ain't putting no money in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we at right now. Ladies, let me tell you something. Stop dissing your men online. You're going to lose them to the point where they ain't going to protect you no more. You're going to lose them to the point, especially these Generation Alpha and these young millennials. I'm an older millennial, oldest of the millennials. But the young millennials, they definitely ain't going to trust you. The Generation Alphas and the Zs are getting there too, and they getting there faster. You understand what I'm saying? I'm seeing videos of boys that ain't even afraid to fight women nowadays. So you got to be careful. And that's why I said this thing about this boycott thing. You got to be careful who you alienate. You might need them motherfuckers later. A man told me one time, when you come at somebody, you have to come correctly, especially a man, and you have to ask yourself, do you want positive results or you want negative results? Exactly. Let me tell you what that matters. Because of pure simple fact, men build off frustration. Men build off passive aggressiveness. I know if I talk shit to a man too long, or he talks shit to me too long, or whatever, there's a possibility me and him might kill each other. So there are no threats. Aaron said facts. There are no threats. Very well. And that's why I can't stand when I had a couple girlfriends or whatever. They'd be like, "Yo, why are you tripping on that man?" I said, "Because this motherfucker been following us for 5 minutes. You sitting here talking to me so you don't see it. Shut the fuck up. Do what you was doing. Shit. I'll let you know if something wrong." For real. I know had girlfriends they'll get flustered. They won't get mad. They just be, "Oh, okay." You know what I'm saying? They don't understand that sometimes. Like, this motherfucker been following us for 5 minutes. I've been watching him with an eye, and he looking at you. That's what I'm paying attention to. "Oh, okay, I just thought you were tripping." No, I'm not tripping. I know what the fuck I'm talking. So men have a perception that women don't, because women don't know how to look for certain dangers, because usually y'all have never been involved in those certain type of dangers. We have. This is why I said them hood niggas is on your corner. Them hood niggas is in front of the store. Them hood niggas that you not all them dudes is bad. Not all of them is bad. I even tell this. Listen, I've said this in front of police officers. Sometimes you need to leave 4 or 5 of them hood niggas out there, regardless of what they doing, because them motherfuckers regulate the rest of the environment. Let me give you an example. There are still niggas out here to this day. If you in the housing projects or something like that, or whatever, men are very territorial by nature. There are certain niggas in the hoods all across America that stop a lot of shit from happening. You understand what I'm saying? I'm dead serious. I'm telling the police this. Or whoever else is listening, or go back and tell your community. There are certain niggas, this is why I always said this, there's certain niggas in the hood, and it doesn't matter if it's a white hood, black hood, Spanish hood, whatever. There are certain niggas in the hood, you know what I'm saying? Oh, y'all know about the spaghetto? I ain't never tell you about the spaghetto. That's an Italian ghetto. The spaghetto. Only real Italians will know what I'm talking about. The spaghetto. You don't know about the spaghetto? E come tu tasi, huh? Banfangeli. Banfangeli. Nanu. Nanu. The spaghetto, right? We got to have a whole conversation about the spaghetto. All right? A lot of Italians don't like to talk about that. My good friend Cinzia, she used to always talk about the spaghetto back in Italy. She was born in Napoli. She's Napolese. She was always talking about the spaghetto. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but in what's now called Comedy Rome, but in Italy, this is where the word ghetto comes from, and it comes from an area that they put at the time the poor Jewish community that was there. They said that the area was dilapidated, it was nasty, it was messy, or whatever, whatever. Most of this being the result of what they was given, and they you know what I'm saying. But the word ghetto comes from an area in Italy where they were putting basically Jewish refugees. They were fleeing wars and things like that at one time. You can go look this up if you want to right now for yourself, but you'll quickly find. I don't even have to look it up. I know what I'm talking about. You'll very quickly find what I'm telling you is the truth. The word and antithesis for the word and the genesis of the word starts in Italy. Ghetto. So when I hear a motherfucker that's Italian say, "Oh, that's so ghetto," I say, "I know it is. It's from your homeland, motherfucker." Of course it is. It's from your homeland. Spaghetto. There you go. Bookie Brooks said, that's right. Ghetto comes from the Jewish people kept in one area. It's the truth. Except Frankie and Paulie. But the spaghetto, usually that's inclusive of people that's from, they Turk Italian. That's the ones I usually get around with, Turk Italians. Every now and then I'll get along with what are these fuckers called? The Cabras, if you want to call it. They're the ones that usually end up being the racist ones. Capitalese. They usually and the reason they're racist because they're very, very prime on keeping their blood pure, whatever. They're the last remnants of the Romans, if you want to say. The people from the Turks and the mountains, if you want to call it or whatever, those people are more mixed with a lot of Middle Eastern, some of them mixed with Portuguese blood inside of them. You understand? And Persian blood, believe it or not. And then you have Napolese, and a little bit of everything. Then you have Sicilians. Sicilians are kind of like the same mold too. A lot of Sicilians will be heavily, heavily racist, but at the same time darker than a motherfucker. You understand? So there's a lot of things behind that. Middle Eastern DNA, African DNA, Tunisian DNA, Portuguese DNA. There's multiple DNAs and a lot of Italians, and a lot of people don't like to talk about it. So a lot of you motherfuckers are mutts, and you know it just as well as I know it, don't you? Okay. No, I don't have to go look it up. I have particular ability to know if someone is like, I got you, or if someone's has good character. I can tell I'm always right. You're telling the truth. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. You on here educating folks whether they want it or not. I guess so. Shit, I don't know. I never thought of it like that. A lot of people think I look down on people and shit like that. I really don't. I've never been that type of person at all. Most people know me for that. I've treated most people fair. You know what I mean? But, some people don't get that. Shay Jackson, what's going on, man? Guys, make sure y'all hit the Cash App up, man. I ain't had no Cash Apps in a minute, whatever. I want to enjoy my summer. I ain't even going to lie to you. So if I can go out and have a nice dinner, maybe a couple of drinks, buy me a new little outfit, see if the chicks are still fucking with me. You know Plus, I need a couple things too, man. One, importantly, I've been telling everybody, the reason you see my phone glitch, I necessarily explain this to you. I'm going to continue on talking about some other stuff that y'all might be interested in. And I'm not begging to y'all. I'm not Umar Johnson or none of those or whatever. Most people that follow me for 6 years know I have never been a begging YouTuber. Quite the opposite. I'm a question asking YouTuber because I started seeing, and just hear me out real quick. I spent my own money totally, basically covering the Diddy trial. I spent my own money on a lot of different things. And usually the routine on my channel, especially this is for the people that just subscribe. Usually my routine would be I would travel places. From day one that I started this channel, I've always been outside. I've never been really inside. Most people that have long-term subscribed, that's why that like went out, because they know I'm telling the truth. And so I've always been outside. You know what I'm saying? There was a narrative painted about me and some other YouTubers that we were Diddy supporters, or we were this, or we were that, or whatever, whatever. That was fluctuated to the community. And it was passed on by many of girls in different podcasts. I had one particular vlogger. I ain't gonna say her name, but many of y'all people are familiar with her. A day before she showed up in New York, she just grabbed my name out the air and said whatever the heck she wanted to say. I guess in contest that I wasn't gonna show up. I showed up right down the fuck down there. I missed about 10 minutes. You understand what I'm saying? But she did her own little movement. She can't ignore that. You did that. You did that for no reason. Like, I was like, bitch, I ain't talked about you in months. You understand what I'm saying? If I wanted to get you, I could have got you out there with no problem. You know what I'm saying? Even she know that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was kind of crazy or whatever, whatever. But we survived that. I had other people, you understand what I'm saying, that spread her word or whatever, whatever. And it made this thing where I guess what they were trying to do was they were trying to snuff me out on YouTube so I wouldn't vlog anymore based on the fact that I wasn't getting any cash apps. So now I figured out how to monetize my page, and then these fuckers start doing the same thing. They paid me $52 this month, Joe, for 400,000 views. And I know a lot of y'all are saying, well, it's sometimes because you're cursing and everything like that. I bet you all these videos are in the yellow. No, they're not. No, they're not. The majority of the shit that I have up is in the green. I have like 2 or 3 that's in the yellow. You understand what I'm saying? See, I know some things about YouTube y'all don't know. You know, it's good to have friends. Let's put it that way. So, you know, I just say this, man. Make sure that if you do donate to me, do it kind and heartily out of your heart. I appreciate that. But do not listen to anybody that comes up to you and tells you or tries to define who I am. Oh, he's a Diddy supporter. He's this, he's that. I told him, I said, listen, Diddy did some shit, and it was some shit. Then fuck it, nigga, you got to go. You got to go. You understand what I'm saying? I will stick on that. You know what I'm saying? Homie and no homie. I don't give a fuck. Like, listen, man, let me tell you something. I find out you took some vajay or something like that or whatever. Nigga, you got to go. You can't hang with us no more. You even know that. You even know that. You understand what I'm saying? So if he was guilty of something that extreme, nigga, you got to go. You got to go handle that. But this wasn't the case. You understand? And so, even after all that, I've seen women online that have 3 or 4. I saw a woman the other night had a 4-hour live talking about still Diddy to mess with some kids. And I'm like, no, he didn't. And this has been found. I just read an article, and I'm going to read the article for a couple of y'all just tuned in here. You know what I'm saying? Keep picking the fact that and I'm like, you can't keep having these lies based on the fact that his name garners attention for you, where if nowhere else where you talk about anything else would have garnered attention for you. And I proved that to you. Y'all see, I have whole different conversations about shit and still get damn near a third of the same views, if not as much as the views. You see what I'm saying? So, and I'm glad 2 or 3 other podcasters figured that out too. I'm proud of y'all. Both of y'all from the New York City area. One nigga just need to tighten his shit up, stop talking all that crazy shit he be talking on there. Other than that, he alright. But cause he be making up shit and shit. I don't like vloggers be making up shit and be lying and shit. I don't like that shit. Anyway, they called one of these vloggers a Diddy supporter. I saw the dude from Popcorn Planet. He was running around calling people Diddy supporters. I saw Blowjob, BJ, running around there calling people Diddy supporters. I saw Tisha Tells running around calling people Diddy supporters. You understand what I'm saying? Meanwhile, all 3 of y'all motherfuckers ain't no more than lateral groupies. Y'all niggas is groupies. That's what we would have called y'all, groupies. You dig? And so that's what we call them up here in the New York City tri-state. So if you don't understand, our thing is we don't be marching in the courtrooms and shit like that. Like, niggas have been in the street. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I'll say about this one particular individual. She said, nigga, I ain't going to sit up in courtrooms and shit. Like, we don't do no shit like that. Signing boards and shit. Nigga, say if I do something in the future, I don't mind. The fuck you talking about? Now you go ahead. You got it. The fuck? Nah, I wouldn't wear all that. You know what I'm saying? People make up anything they need to click some views. They don't care how they get it, and they don't want to be in the industry. They know nothing about it, not whatsoever. And that's what I'm trying to say. They telling our stories. and they're like remixing our stories or remixing what happened, and it makes me mad because I was like, yo, this demise all the time that I put into the music industry, all the people that know me, everything like that. And it also insults like a lot of people. Like we know Puff's character. Was Puff an asshole? Fuck yeah. That nigga did a whole bunch of nigga shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like I still got a problem with him. You know what I'm saying? Like I still got a problem with him. You Ubering bitches $20,000, paying for bitches furniture and shit like that. And the team is sitting back like, yo, son, we gotta break it down with this blimpy sandwich. And any motherfucker that used to work on the team with me, I dare you come argue with me about that shit. How about the McDonald's Arch cards? We get McDonald's Arch cards, niggas. We should at least got Boston Market or something. Like you was being stingy as fuck with us, but you was giving these bitches $10,000, $20,000 each a pop, nigga. On that one, fuck what you talking about. Because I said it yesterday, I say it again. If Puff was a regular nigga in the hood, we had found out all this shit, and when he went to court and then he came out, we would have whooped his ass. Nigga, you sending 20,000 to bitches and we over here starving. Like, you gotta realize what I'm talking about. Like, nigga can do whatever they want to with their money. True. You understand what I'm saying? That'll always be the argument of African American. You can do whatever he wants to do with his money. All right, true. But, you know, there have been kings that have done the same. The king can do whatever he wants to with his taxes. Well, you saw what the fuck they did to the king in the end, right? You understand what I'm saying? So, and kings after him. You understand? So my point is, you know what I'm saying? Never think yourself bigger than the people that are on a mechanism with you. None of them bitches were beneficial. Not even Cassie was beneficial. You understand what I'm saying? Outside of doing what she did, she wasn't beneficial to bringing in money. We was beneficial with bringing in money. All our advertisements and all the stuff that we promoted or whatever was for the company to get money. So why I feel like all our promotion and advertising, I'm talking about the whole fucking team. Any nigga to get mad at me from the team right now, so be it. I'll see you at our next dinner. I love y'all. But the point got to be said. We spent 17 motherfucking years promoting albums. I was there when you had that blue drop top, nigga. I still got a picture in front of the motherfucker. When you had the baby blue, powdered blue drop top Bentley. It was in front of the Hot 97, and the first album I ever promoted for Buff was Forever. All right? Now, our work generated money at the very least in the New York City tri-state area all the way up to Boston, Miami, Florida, Texas, or whatever. Our name and print that we put with all those bad boy artists contributed to some sales. I don't give a fuck what you say in 17 motherfucking years. So it would say apparent that some of that money that we helped churn went to these hookers and whores to pay niggas a sling dick up in Cassie, to motherfucking pay niggas $10,000, $7,000 for slinging dick in Cassie, pay Cassie some money for being a motherfucking hottie toddy. You understand? Are you following the program here? Are you following what I'm saying here? So yeah, I'm mad about that shit, nigga. You out here giving these bitches $10,000, gave the bitch daddy $10,000 to buy new furniture, baby daddy 50 cents. What the fuck was that about? Well, we all had our reunion dinner 2 years ago, Chrome, Jaquaid, when we had our reunion dinner, nigga, you could have sent, there was how many gentlemen there? There was almost 20 of us there. You could have sent every person in there and said, here, Chrome, make sure you take care of this. Give every last one of these niggas $5,000. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't even do that. So yeah, I got a problem with you giving hookers that it was off our back. We helped you make the money, and you giving it to hookers, whores, and motherfucking regular street trash and riffraff. Yes, nigga, I got a problem with that. And had you been in the streets versus the music industry, you know how niggas would have handled that. That's the point. We're not talking about Puff from fucking Ohio. We're not talking about Puff from motherfucking Hillcrest. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about Puff from fucking Mount Vernon. What would you think niggas in the Bronx or Mount Vernon would have done to you if you've been in the streets and niggas knew that shit? Now, I ain't even got to explain no more. So that part, yeah, I'm mad. I don't give a fuck what no niggas say. After I done heard bitches sit up on the motherfucking testimony, and we didn't have this conversation before. For those that are in the privy. So I guess I went too far off. Again. Underline, again. See, niggas got a thing of getting mad at me. Yo, bro, why you wild? Why you wildin', son? You can't say that. Damn, that nigga right. It's the story of my life. I have this weird gift where I can predict things and they come true. Or sometimes I use information that I already know and I can come to a conclusion. It's like I told before. I'll give you a perfect example. If you go on my channel here, there's a video, and I made about Tisa Tells at the time. Well, some Tisa said, but you can find it. And I said, I think in the title it says, she doesn't know a New York jury. And I said it too, and if many people would be a long-term subscriber of me, you remember me saying this. And I said, she doesn't know a New York jury. She's looking at it through the perspective and the lens of a Californian. And how that jury might react based on her familiarity with a California or wherever she lives crowd. But here in New York, we don't think like that. And all the jurors are from New York. You understand what I'm saying? So most people that were from New York were laughing at some of the commentators that were out there, because as much as these commentators want to play it off or whatever, the bottom line is you motherfuckers were wrong. And people that follow these niggas and they gave these niggas thousands of dollars, they need to start listening and predicting and seeing that. Niggas was wrong. Some of the top niggas that was out there running their mouth and bitches, y'all was wrong. But David was right. And we ain't never got that acknowledged yet. We ain't never got that acknowledged yet. And what it did was it made a lot of motherfuckers mad at me, because at the end game of this, some motherfuckers were trying to say, oh, he was out there making plays. He was responsible for this. Listen, it's just some things are coincidence. All right, give me a break here. I ain't doing anything. Jesus Christ, people. Don't worry about that. Anyway, long story short here. You gotta play in perspective that a lot of people, they don't like you because they don't understand you. They never had a conversation with you. They don't even know what I'm mad about or upset about. Bitch, let me explain something to you. I worked 17 motherfucking years at that company. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't no motherfucking way I'm letting some ragtag ass vlogger that ain't got the same motherfucking background as me, ain't got the same motherfucking amount of accomplishments as me, even though you brag and boast and self-exalt yourself as much as you fucking want to. You understand what I'm saying? Being a commentator on some motherfucking program ain't cutting it. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't who we are. You could pretend you are, but you ain't. And I don't mean that in any fucking person. I just mean anybody was flexing down there real hard, like they was a say-all, be-all. Your ass was wrong. And nobody wants to say that to these motherfuckers. Everybody want to soft-side it. Oh, well, you know, you can't win all of them, T-Sir. You can't win all of them. No, the bitch was wrong. And that hoe need to realize it too. And you have a problem with that. And I can tell you would have a problem with that in relationships as well, Tisa Tells. See, let me tell you something. A bitch that knows something is happening, but she can't acknowledge that something is happening. Or she can't acknowledge, hey, I was wrong. Or, hey, I can't acknowledge that partially I did this or whatever. So as a result, what I'm going to do is start making videos and tell niggas how I was right. And you know, there could be a possibility. Fuck the possibility, bitch. This is what it is. And y'all gave this girl thousands. I ain't mad at you. Get your paper. You got money off every last one of them sucker motherfuckers. I ain't mad at you. Because you have to be a sucker to sit there and listen to that shit and don't go do your own research. Good for you. I'm glad you got every dime off them sucker motherfuckers. You understand? But what it did was it caused a parallel for niggas like me when you got motherfuckers that's on her team, a couple other little teams or whatever that's anti-Diddy, and they sitting up there. You understand what I'm saying? Exactly. Fuck it, get them niggas. I ain't mad at her. You understand what I'm saying? I was never mad about the paper. I told y'all that from day one. I said, damn, this bitch getting a lot of cash. That's good for her. Get that paper. That's what it, you know. But don't register out other people because they don't go along with what you say. That's communism. Yo soy la cubano, la mareno, a esa, entonces hablan claro. Yo sabe la mente communism. I know that shit like the back of my hand. And a lot of y'all starting to sound like communists and Marxists. And a lot of the times these communist and Marxist ideals, you know where they come from? Collegiate institutions. Who's the number one motherfuckers always bragging about their college degrees and shit like that? Give me a second. Who's Who's always complaining about that? Who's always bragging about the college degrees? Give me a second. Give me a second. Right. Some of you hoes is pushing capitalist, Marxist, and communist ideologies out to the people. You understand what I'm saying? And they ain't regularly motherfucking used to that. Oh, listen, man. That bitch can do whatever she wants to, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was something was gonna happen, I would have made it happen. It wouldn't matter who was down there. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter who was down there. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, what's that homeboy's name? Ratchet TV, whatever that nigga's name is. You know what I'm saying? I was fucking with him till he said some slick shit. And I was like, yo, my nigga, you just really stamped out your next motherfucker. What's the name? Please don't come with no niggas. If you come back up this motherfucker, don't come with your niggas, because then it's going to look different. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to guarantee you that. Don't come with your niggas, because it's going to look different. Because I know how niggas do down south. They won't come with their niggas. Yo, son, this nigga said something to me. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have to go back up there. Nah, nigga, don't come with your niggas. Come by yourself after I say this. This nigga said some shit at the motherfucker on his podcast after I was agreeing with him. And I was like, yo, because he had told off Tisha, but he ain't tell off in a bad way. She painted and made him look like whatever happened to him happened to him, right? And I was actually like, all right, cool. But, nigga, I ain't said that shit to her 4 weeks ago. To her face. And niggas were live with me when I said it. And she had some nigga with her. I don't know who the fuck she had with her, but I said it then. I said, you fucking lie. She didn't even tell you that. I came to her face, ask her. She'll tell you that. I came to her face and told her. Wasn't no gate behind this one. None of that shit, nigga. It was just me, her, and Free Opportunity. And the nigga she was with, who would have got poked if he would have ran too quick. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, yo, I'm not after shorty like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not after shorty like that. It was just the point that you were saying a whole bunch of shit, which we now know was false than a motherfucker, and then you don't want to take no ridicule for it. But Duke, though, the Ratchet TV dude, shit I ain't like was, the nigga came out of his mouth, he saying, yo, a lot of these New York vloggers were mad at us, da-da-da-da. Well, I can explain that for you. We don't do pussy shit like that. If you really want to answer, most New Yorkers, we don't do pussy shit like that. Now, niggas will come down there like you saw on the last day, and they'll be spectators. But niggas, generally, we ain't running up sitting in the courtrooms and all that shit. All that shit was under y'all protection from y'all California niggas. There wasn't no New York niggas sitting there. The only nigga that was sitting up there was Inner City Press, and he was from the town. Other than that, and that's where everybody was getting their info from. Other than that, it wasn't no niggas up in from New York City sitting up in that courtroom, except for Puff Fam, motherfucking Luch, people like that. When them niggas said, does anybody want to argue with me? Anybody want to argue with me? Them California niggas started that shit. Can we go sit in the courtroom? I ain't saying it like that either, because there's some California niggas that was cool as fuck down there. So don't get that fucked up either. And my sister live in California. I just say that shit like that. Some niggas was like, you talking about Cali. Nigga, if I was talking about Cali, you still get fucked up. You still get, nigga, do you know what I can do to you right now? And people be like, I've had people come in here and tell niggas, yo, trust me, you do not know the people he know. People that know me. You understand what I'm saying? I look one way to them. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he's cute and cuddly. All right, motherfucker. You know what else is? A honey badger. Honey badgers are cute. Fucking tigers are cute too, motherfucker. Anyway. Stupid motherfucker. Anyway, long story short, I ain't threatening nobody or nothing like that, but I'm just saying, if it was down to that, and I felt that way, you know what I mean, in the story. But it was just the fact that these California bloggers, they were down there, they was just showing their ass, and none of them got it right. None of them got it right. How about that, huh, Nancy? How are you, sweetheart? Nancy comes over and checks me every now and then. Good for you, Nancy. Good for you. Good for Nancy. Nancy Grace. Yay. All right, so yeah, check this out. We're going to share this real quick, guys. Make sure y'all hit up the Cash App, especially the black men in here. You voyeur ass motherfuckers that sit around and listen what a nigga got to say. Don't want to write nothing in the chat room with your scary asses. I be like, ladies, y'all so much braver than these niggas. I swear to God. These niggas don't even want to be saying nothing. It's jesters out here too. Exactly, Mind Control. Don't forget about the jesters. Yeah, there's a lot of niggas that are referring to this lying online now. I seen a post last night. This dude asked his friend to do. He got him on his jacket, aka pay for it, dude. Oh yeah, I see that shit. He said, nigga, this shit 3,200. His friend said, but you got all that money for them hoes. That's what I'm man from Detroit. Little slim light skinned nigga. I know who you talking about. That's my homie right there. What is his name? Jack Funny. I think that's what his name is. I think his name is Jack Funny. He the next one. He's the next Ha Ha Davis. Jack Funny, man. Go check him out. High class escorts, basically, people make up anything to get clicks and views. Yeah, I read that right there. Let me see what else y'all got in here. Whose message got held for review? Yeah, the Bay is cool. I know it's a scene, some bitch ass niggas in the town, but they don't represent Oakland. See, my sister live outside of Oakland. You know what I'm saying? My sister 909, dog. I be telling niggas. My sister lived in Modesto and a couple other places. I ain't gonna say exactly where she at, but she done been out of Modesto, Bernardina. You know what I'm saying? She done been a couple places, but she been to Oakland. Yeah, that post was hilarious as hell. He had the red jacket on. He said, "You can't buy this for me. You get all these hoes." Jack Funny, man. Check him out. Yeah, I've been subscribed to Jack Funny since last year, man. That's my dude. All right, I want to read something off to y'all about, I think y'all might find it and it goes in core with the Diddy trial here. If you wonder what I said, go back to the beginning because we already talked about this shit and I'm tired at this point. All right, so I wanna cool y'all in on two things here. All right, so y'all make sure y'all stick with me, guys. Make sure you hit up the Cash App, support the Cash App, man. We don't get much support over here, so if you like anything that I'm doing here, make sure y'all hit up the Cash App. I would appreciate it. The first thing I want to go into is this. I wanna where's that shit at? Hold on one second. I got y'all. Don't get worried. Don't get worried. Yeah, here we go. I wanted to talk to y'all about something that Judge Samarinian, I don't think he understands. And it's based off the fact of something he was talking about with the Mann Act, right? Give me a second. I want to share this before I even talk about this real quick. Just give me 1 second, y'all. Don't go. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'm using an old device because I lost my other device or whatever. That's why I'm asking too. People, make sure you donate or whatever. I got to pay a $320 deductible. So every dime y'all get help with will help, because on top of that and the bill I have for both of my devices is very high. That's okay. It's almost hilarious, right? Do you ever notice when women are talking about their Cash Apps or something like that? Like, it's the first time I mentioned my Cash App. I mentioned my Cash App twice now. I mentioned it at the hour mark, and I mentioned it at the 2 hour mark. 2 times. And motherfuckers will drop out your podcast just so they don't have to donate to you. It's crazy. The reason that it keeps glitching like that is because I'm using an old device. I lost my S24, which many people know I usually string to you in 4K. It's usually a great deal, and then none of this happens. Well, I lost my phone, and insurance, I think that's how you pronounce it, or whatever, that covers the insurance for what's the name, Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile watch form. Because traditionally, y'all know, you lost your phone, cracked the screen, you go in and get another one, right? They even give it to you in the store. Well, under the past 3 years, they ended up getting some differences in these contracts that nobody's knowing of unless you inquire about it, in my personal opinion, because they don't update you, send you an email, nothing, that there's a deductible for these phones. The high-end phones go anywhere from $230 to $270, plus there's a fee that's attached along with that. The lower end phones, same thing, $120, $180 or whatever. This is a hustle to me because we're paying $12 a month for the service. So for a case in point, my insurance only covers without a deductible if I crack the screen or the phone is damaged. So if the phone is damaged, say there's a fire, they'll fix that or whatever. Even if it's possible, they replace it. But if the screen is cracked, they'll replace that for free under the $12. But the $12 a month included in my phone bill of $167 motherfucking dollars. You believe that, for 2 devices? I got a tablet and I got I had a phone. They don't include that. I said, that's fucking crazy to me. Why would you do that on a device this fucking expensive? And there's no answer from them or nothing or whatever. So I'm still stuck paying the contract. I found out now, if I don't pay off the phone within the next 3 weeks, I believe I have, then the claim goes debunked. Ain't that some shit? So only have 60 days to pay them back the deductible. You can't even pay back the deductible when you want to. You have to pay it back when they want you to. So guys, make sure y'all hit the Cash App or whatever. That's all I need to get. I need to get that. I need to get a new ring light, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And I could do all that for under $400. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm seeing people like Tisa Tells. I mean, I'm not hating on it, but I'm seeing people like Tisa Tells, who was wrong ultimately about this whole Diddy thing, get thousands of dollars. I saw the blowjob chick, excuse me, BJ. I saw her get thousands of dollars. So I'm starting to see that this whole thing is condensing on, like, basically women supporting other women, and the men don't. I don't even, like, unless it's a black dude that I know or whatever, like, I'll reference them or, you know, retort to them or speak to them in the chat room. But most of the time, I find that they're the cheapest ones out of all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, do not depend on African American. I tell everybody this, especially upcoming bloggers. Do not listen to me very carefully. Do not get yourself deceived by black males coming into your chat room talking about, yeah, you go, brother, and all this shit and all that shit or whatever, right? It's not going to be them that donate to you. It's going to be the women that donate to you. Most black men are cheap. They don't want to support you. Most of them are haters. They don't want to see you rise. You understand what I'm saying? They're definitely going to help with the contribution of your rise. This includes those articulate, soft-spoken motherfuckers are the ones you got to watch out for the most. If you get a podcast and they real smooth talking, real soft voice, like, hi, everybody. And what we got to understand is, you know, this is one comedian guy, speaking of Jack Funny, this is other heavy-set ballhead comedian dude. I can't think of his name, but he does a parody of these, like, vloggers talking. He's like, imagine that, being 7 years old and broke. That's crazy. You don't get it? You don't see it? He's imitating, like, how these vloggers talk, some of them, because some of them are just in pure acting mode and shit. They ain't acting themselves. So, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fuck shit going on with this whole internet thing. But the one thing is the subscribers. I would say 85 to probably 70, anywhere between 70 to 85% of African American men, unless you are bashing women on a constant basis. I've seen this with my own two eyes. Unless you are bashing women on a day-to-day basis, you are not going to get any motherfucking money out of them. The only way they donate to you is bashing women, relationship advice, and what's the other one? Oh yeah, bashing the music artists. That's when black men will donate to you. Other than that, they're not going to donate to you. They don't want to see no nigga ahead of them. You know what I'm saying? So I have to say at a 70 to 85% rate, I don't trust most black dudes. I'll be honest with you. I really, really, really don't. And it took me into that moving forward. Most of them, they jealous hearted. Most of them, they ain't worth a damn as far as loyalty. You understand what I'm saying? And I found that my Italian friends and my Greek friends have been 10 times more loyal than these guys. They've been put to the test. You know, so it's not without being tested or being like, you know, an assumption or something like that. So guys, make sure y'all hit up the Cash App. Ladies, you understand what I'm saying? Black, white, brown, or whatever the case may be. Your boy got some things to take care of or whatever, and I always deliver. I usually make videos, but since I stopped getting donations because everybody labeled me, you're a Diddy supporter. That is the most high school shit I ever heard in my life. It's like, don't like him, he does this. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if anybody hit the Cash App real quick. Give me 2 seconds. They did. I want to tell them thank you. If not, that's fine too. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Okay, so unfortunately, no. But that's all right. It's cool. Right on. Yeah, you right. Got to know who supports and who won't for real. Yeah, ain't nobody supporting me. My Cash App still look the same as it did. I thought you said Mod. I thought you said you just hit my Cash App. You ain't a liar, are you? I mean, I don't care if you did or didn't, but just don't be a liar. I don't like liars. When I get liars, I don't trust people. Well, anyway, listen. Since it's deflating after the first dollar for me, okay, seriously, no cap. No, it's all good. I'm about to shut this down though. I don't sit like any people know. I don't sit here longer. I've been here for 2 hours and 23 minutes. I don't sit here for a long time. And this other conversation I was gonna get into is gonna take a little bit of time or whatever. Matter of fact, let me do it now, so that way I can just wrap it up quick. I don't sit here for longer than 2 hours with no support. That's why I try to tell you, like, these ain't my people. They're somebody's people, but don't pay attention to people. Now y'all see what I'm talking about. Don't pay attention to these people. They be writing in your chat room or whatever. They don't support you for real, dog. They just sit there and write things because they want people to see them. They don't support you for real. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. So that's why I got to deal with old YouTube for my funds. But it's all good. We're gonna find some ways to increase that. You know what I'm saying? I will be one of those people, those YouTubers that will innovate how you make money on the AdSense thing. I'm finding that even though I was trying to be a person for the people, I can say what the fuck I want to say now. Ain't nobody financially supporting me. Um, Now that I found out that you have to be a specific type of vlogger, and that these specific type of vloggers, they have to be liars, and they have to be women that are liars. I've learned this. There's a lot of adoration that's given to women, black women, on these channels or whatever, and that's cool. That's cool. I'm not worried about that. I'm not upset. What I'm certainly pointing out, I think a lot of people, they get it confused or whatever, is I show people the same respect that they give me. You understand what I'm saying? And I've always been like that. And there's obviously some problem on here with the type of diatribe that I deliver. And so that's why I said, like, you know, I'll do the lives here and there, whatever. And, you know, if it's something worth talking about, I'll worth talking about it or whatever. But from now on, it'll be less and less of these lives, like I told people, and they starting to see. I know you think it's not, and it's just because stories are popping up, really. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, of course, I'm going to deliver them. I could use it, but nah, I think the best thing for me to stop doing is going live. I'm not a person of the people. You understand? Like, a lot of these folks, they don't like me because I speak another language. A lot of these people are racist. A lot of these people are sexist, genderish. So, you know, you gotta be aware of that on YouTube. But definitely, YouTube is not a place. It's becoming a place for females, and specifically white females and black females. And pretty soon, people just gonna start jumping ship. You're gonna see more and more male podcasts. I'm telling you, you're gonna see it within the next year. As it becomes more and more increasingly women centric, like TikTok has become, you're going to see more and more men leave. And what's ultimately going to happen is men are going to leave the social media aspect completely alone. So they're going to be full of nothing but LGBTQ guys that are toxic and women. And then they'll be fighting against each other. That's how it's going to end. Trust me. Trust me. That's exactly where it'll end. And they'll be holding on for dear life as they're fighting. Well, you say you sent the Cash App, man, and I just went to go look at the Cash App, and it wasn't the Cash App there. So, I mean, technically, you did lie. I'll go look again just to make sure I didn't make a mistake. If I did, I'll apologize for it. But I do remember you put. Was that you that sent me the $2? Was that you? You sent me $2. You sent $2. Andre, figure out what it means. Model culture. You sent $2 to me. You sent me $2? She ain't answering the question, huh? I was her that sent the $2. Get the fuck out of here, bitch. Out of your mind. I'm gonna send that shit back to you too, ho. I don't give a fuck about you, bitch. That bitch sent me $2, bitch. Fuck you. Bitch, I sent that shit back to that bitch. Bitch, you better not ever send me no motherfucking $2 talking about shit cool. Don't write shit in my shit no more. You can stay and hang out. But nah, fuck all that. I just cut her motherfucking privileges off. Bitch writing all that shit in there. I told you, these niggas is phony, dog. You know what? I'm gonna save what I was gonna save about the judge and all that for a later podcast or whatever. I think it's more fitting for in there. I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Like I said, listen, black community, it's all good, baby. It's all good. I don't give a fuck no more. I'm gonna continue doing these little lives here and there when there's something to talk about, worth talking about. Other than that, we're gonna shut this down for right now. I hope you enjoyed. For all y'all that wouldn't hit the like button and all that, and to all the racists and sexists and black women that join races, shout out to y'all. And if y'all wondering why I blocked that chick that been in here the whole time I'm live or whatever, talking to shit, because the bitch had the nerve to insult me and send me $2 motherfucking. Bitch, die. I'll talk to y'all later.